in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics. To the internet broadcast of Kalamazoo College Athletics. Today's game is starting in just a few minutes, and pregame coverage will start in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics.
Hey folks, good afternoon, and thanks so much for joining us for the 2024 season opener here at Angel Field, Kalamazoo College. I'm Tanner White. If you haven't heard by now, Kalamazoo football alum class of 2022. I'm so happy to welcome a new partner today in the booth alongside Jackson Hayden. Now, would you like to give us your little elevator pitch?
Yeah, I can. Thanks, Tanner, for having me along with you this afternoon. Beautiful day for the start of some Division III football. We got a good matchup between Austin College and Kalamazoo College. I, myself, a graduate of Grand Valley State back in April, and we actually met, with the good old Traverse City Pit Spitters Kalamazoo Growlers 131 rivalry, as that's where I do majority of my play-by-play work. So very familiar with the Kalamazoo area and excited to get along and get to work today.
Hey, fantastic, Jackson. Glad to have you. We're about 9 minutes or so from kickoff here in the zoo. And speaking of before kickoff, we got to talk to Kalamazoo's head coach and newly minted athletic director, Coach Jamie Zorbo, about Team 130 here in the zoo in his historic program. Let's hear what Coach had to say, and by the time we come back, we'll just about be ready for that national anthem, and then we'll kick off, scheduled for 1 p.m. here in the zoo. Tanner White down on the sideline with Kalamazoo College head coach Jamie Zorbo before kickoff of week 1. Coach, on this most glorious of holidays, I just want to say welcome back, and football is back. How about it?
Thanks, Tanner. Yeah, it's just the best time of year. We're really excited. Just wrapped up our 3 weeks of preparation leading up to today, and our teams are really, really fired up to get out here and play a game of football against somebody in an opposite colored jersey.
There's no doubt about it, Coach, and a lot to be excited about. 2-win improvements 2 years in a row. Tell me why this program's going to be able to keep building on that momentum.
Well, we've been able to develop players and retain players, which is key. I mean, we're getting more experienced. This is the largest senior class that I've had in a really long time. And I think that's a testament to that. When you start, keeping kids around in the program, you build culture, you build strong leadership, and that's what makes the program go and really determines the success of your program over the course of a season.
Tell me some more about the explosiveness of your offense from last year. How many of those quick strike possessions did we see, and how are you going to keep that going this year with a really experienced group?
Yeah, we've got a talented group on offense, and we're just going to spread the ball around. We put a lot on Josh's plate, and the quarterback position, as you know, is very important in our offense. But our offensive line is getting stronger. They're getting more experienced, and they're going to really be the engine that makes our offense go, both in the run and pass game.
Lastly, we've got the Austin College Kangaroos in town,
a long trip for them, but you got to figure you're going to be ready, get their best. A lot of good players. You got an athletic quarterback in Jalen Tartan who can carry the ball himself as the team's leading rusher. You got a rather tough defensive front. Give me the keys to victory today.
Yeah, this is a very formidable opponent. They played in a really tough conference last year and did pretty well. I mean, it's a team that's on the rise, in my opinion. They're young, but they've got some experience as well, and they've got some pretty darn good players. As you mentioned, their quarterback's a really good player, and he's going to be the primary focus for us on that side of the ball today. And we're going to need to keep him under wraps and around all day long and force him to make some bad decisions, which he's definitely capable of doing. We've got to capitalize on those opportunities on the defensive side of the ball. And then offensively, we're going to be facing a really tough, hard-nosed defense, hard-hitting defense. They're aggressive, and we've got to, sometimes that can play against the defense if you're too aggressive, and we've got to capitalize on some opportunities that present themselves. We just got to stay focused on the things that we can control. That's been my message. I mean, there's going to be some things that, we're not prepared for because we just haven't seen it on film yet. And so, we just have to focus on the things that are within our control, our energy, our effort, our enthusiasm, our execution, our discipline. All those things matter and will definitely determine the outcome of the game. And I fully expect our team to be superior in all those games.
Thanks so much, Coach, and good luck today.
Thanks, Tanner. Great to see you.
You as well.
And you heard it from Coach. Just about 6 minutes from kickoff, everybody getting lined up for that national anthem. 12:54 p.m. here in the zoo. As always, we invite you to stand and honor that time-honored tradition with us. Remove the caps wherever you may be. Though, of course, certainly optional. And we'll just let that crowd mic take over. Hope you enjoy the national anthem. And then we'll be underway for kickoff, scheduled for 1 p.m. still in the zoo. As always, we've jumped the gun. Guilty. You ever had a game where everything has gone perfectly to plan?
Never. It wouldn't be a sporting event if it did.
It wouldn't be right. That's what I'm saying, Jackson. Oh, man. Wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, especially the national anthem, it's so tricky when you time it, too. I mean, now here we go.
All right. We're perfectly on time. We love it. Here we are. National anthem coming up here in the zoo. And just about ready for kickoff. We're looking at two quarterbacks, one with a ton of experience and one with just the 1 year under their belt, but playmakers either way. You want to give us a little bit of the numbers on Jalen Talton as well as Josh Nichols?
Yeah, starting with Josh Nichols. Nichols, coming off of a year last year, he appeared in all 10 games. That's 17 interceptions. That's kind of like the weak link of him. We were talking about that during our pregame down on the field earlier today. He's had a lot of interceptions in his last 2 years, and it's been hard for him. He's completing passes about a 56% rate. He had 2,661 passing yards last year with 20 touchdowns as well. So looking to get back on the right track this year. And, looking back at last year for Jalen Talton, a little bit less production value from him. He was a freshman last year, competed with the sophomore Peyton Keeley, played in 10 games, passed for about a 48% clip, 1,222 yards for him, averaged just about 122 a game. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting mix between quarterbacks today. One quarterback that's very young and one quarterback with a lot of experience.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Josh Nichols is going to have a line on some of those all-time records here at Kalamazoo. Going to need a little bit over 1,600 passing yards as well as 1,600 total yards this year to break those all-time program records. Could have a chance for 42 games started, too. That's a big number and not typically possible, but with the fifth-year season, just might have a chance. A great offensive showing all throughout last year for Kalamazoo. 297 points scored. That was the second most all-time for a season. And those 2,665 passing yards for Nichols, 40th in the nation, top 40, a very respectable number, and a ton of quick strikes. Talked about that with Coach Zorbo a little bit pregame.
Yeah, if you're Coach Zorbo, you got to be happy with that milestone last year, and it's got to be promising heading into this year. It's been a program that's been trying to rebuild since that COVID season in 2020. A 2-win increase each of the last few years. Last year, their best season since 2018, where they finished 7-3. And yeah, so today is the first step forward into potentially having a winning season for the first time since 2018.
Yeah, absolutely. That 2018 team is so dear to my heart, of course. That was my freshman season, and we're still waiting on that Hall of Fame call to induct that entire team. If anybody's listening in the higher-ups, it's time. We waited long enough. And speaking of waited long enough, Emory Roberts, your senior kicker, tees it up just off of that right hash. And we're about ready to get underway. Look at this, 1 p.m. on the dot in the zoo.
Man, there's nothing better than the first kickoff of the season. Of course, Division I kicking off a couple of weeks ago, NFL kicking off this week, and so is Division III, and a lot of action going on in the MIAA this weekend.
Emory Roberts, the lefty, as it's teed up. Ready, ready, swarm is that kickoff call. Roberts, for the beginning of the 2024 season, fielded right around the goal line. Little bit of a seam and clocked right around the 29-37. Gabe Olivier with that first stop for the Hornets.
Yeah, initially I thought, maybe it'd be wise more times than not to just take the knee in the end zone, but brought it up a few more yards than what the fair catch would have been.
Yeah, it's a plus return still. And that spot looks like it might be beyond the 30-yard line. Maybe generous. I think we'll start at the 30. Why not? Works for us. Start with the 2 tight ends set to the right with the 2 receivers split left. And not quite ready for that first snap. What are we looking at? Wonder, are we talking about a ready for play whistle? Are we looking at the formation itself that they came out in? Tough to say. Evan Dennis returns that out to the 30. Brought down by, as we mentioned, Gabe Olivier and Jalen Bowles-Swain for the Hornets.
It's first week for the referees too. They all got to get back on the right track, and everybody. You're gonna see some rust on both sides, every side tonight.
No doubt. Running back in the pistol. Going to take the carry on the first down play and get zilch, zip, nada. Swallowed up.
What a statement start by this defense for Kalamazoo, breaking that offensive line and getting a tackle for loss there.
Oh, they're going to rule it the shortest of gains. It's going to be one of those on the spots. We'll live with it. Some looking formation flipped. Too tight, though. One on each side now. And running back in that pistol. Another quick give. A little bit more of a seam. and a big pop at the end to finish it off. Gabe Myers and a swarm of Hornets, also Jackson Mitchell up from the safety spot. A senior is Mitchell with a lot of expectations of him. Late little push and shove, but no flags out. That's the important part.
Yeah, that was going on pretty much since the snap, and credit to one of the Carson denies. He got right in his face and just said, "Hey, let's chill out a little bit. It's play 2 of the season."
Yeah, no doubt. But that's how you can tell guys are jacked up. Back in a similar formation, flip to the left with the 2 receivers. Gonna stretch it out that way. Gonna be close on that first down. You've got to hold those fists up and sell the 4th down on the defensive side. And what are we doing? Chains are moving the first down carry just enough. Still that sideline well-trained, everybody throwing up the fists.
Yeah, a lot of enthusiasm from this Hornets sideline. You can definitely feel the energy in this place here on this Saturday afternoon.
Barrett Hudson on that 3rd down carry. They'll stick with the run on the first down, and why not? Make every 2nd down manageable. Good idea.
A lot of run plays to start this ball game here for Austin College. A nice carry there, pick up about 4 or so. I mean, as long as you're picking up those type of yardage, you're going to be successful all day long.
Absolutely. This was a team that averaged under 100 yards rushing a game last year, not a number that they were thrilled with by any means. Establishing the run this early on, impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. It's something that you need to do as well.
2 tight ends off to the right side. Now Bubble to the left. Got a little bit of life and knocked out hard right around that midfield. Now you got to be careful again with a little sideline interaction. A love tap maybe.
Nice job by Jalen Talton there. The nice pump fake and then the throw over towards the sideline. It was enough to get him close. It's going to be another close play here, just like we saw a few downs ago.
Gabe Myers and Corey Garrison on the last stop. Back with the back in the pistol. They'll try and stretch it out again. And it's stacked up again. Should be another 4th down. Oh my, I spoke too soon. What have I done? I should know.
I was going to say, it kind of looked like he had broken that first down line. Just enough. And both the last 2 first downs for Austin College, it's been by a shoestring.
Yeah, there's no doubt. That is 6 plays and only 20 yards to continue moving. That is the toughest way to get them. Sticking with the run on first down, still not a bad gain. Call it 3.
It's kind of feeling like Groundhog's Day to open up this ball game. It's the same thing that we've seen this entire drive.
And now you might see Kalamazoo start to rotate soon along their defensive line. You've got the 3 down front, and that always means that you got to take on a whole bunch of double teams. Bryce Ballabuck, Dylan Gackey, as well as 96 Nolan Janiga at that nose spot. Might see them start to rotate as this drive gets longer. Dalton, one more give on the first down. A couple of broken tackles and a dangerous shot in at the end, I think, is going to be flagged.
Kalamazoo maybe getting away with a bit of a jump there on the defensive line, but I don't think that's what this flag is for.
No, I think it's Kamani Jones. Is that what you saw? Jones from the safety spot, 10 flying in there with the helmet?
Yeah, I think so.
Be interesting to see just exactly what they want to call it. I hoped we have the officials' mics on. Don't know that we do.
Appears it was a holding on the defense. One of those defensive holding, one of the more rare types of holdings that you see in football.
Yeah, agreed. It's often the defensive line trying to create a pile and hold up offensive linemen from getting to that second level. Now backed up, the pressure on a little bit. 8 plays, 42 yards on the drive. The Ruse gonna take the shot on the pop pass, incomplete. Little bit too high, not a bad looking throw.
Had that pass been complete, it most likely would have been within inside the 10 yards right there towards the end zone, and maybe just rush that throw just a little too much.
Talton incomplete for Trey Adams. Little upstairs. And really staying in their base looks. It's too tight just about all the time. Your receivers just flop sides. And running back almost exclusively in the pistol. Zion Stewart now in the backfield with Talton. Stewart the carry on first down, a power. Slipped one tackle at the line of scrimmage again from Stapleton. Piles moving. Hornets got it held up. And late shove. Garrison's got to be careful. Corey Garrison came in there to put the exclamation point on.
I love the energy from this defense from Kalamazoo, but it kind of feels like maybe there's nothing wrong with being chippy, but if you're starting to shove a little bit, which we've seen a couple times here in this first drive, you got to be careful. You don't want to give up any of those big costly penalties.
Agreed. That run gains about 6 with all of the forward progress to it and gives you another third and manageable. They've had nothing but those so far. 10 plays, 48 yards, marching it down. On the third down, do it one more time, and one more fourth down. Plus you saw Dynas deliver some punishment there on a blocker at the end. Just being the hammer and not the nail.
Well, now that time they finally get the stop, and here's that questionable that point. Do you see the kicker come out of the field, or do you try to go for it on fourth down? We saw the kicker, kicking into that wind. It was a pretty strong wind there in pregame, and he was, I don't know, it felt like he would make one, miss one every other. So it's going to be interesting here. It looks like they're going to go for it.
Yeah, their full go would be roughly a neighborhood of a 40-yard field goal from here with the junior Caleb Balderas, but they're pedal to the metal. With about 3 to go on the fourth down, Jalen Talton going to look all the way to the goal line, but a lot of contact. And that's an uh-oh. Ronnie Spencer going to get flagged, and a free first down coming.
Yeah, we just talked about, you don't want to get any unsportsmanlike conduct. That wasn't it, but you're trying to make a play, especially trying to get your first big stop, especially a turnover on downs, and that time it's going to bring you it's going to be another harder 4 downs here.
Yeah, you're probably going to – I expect them to go for it on fourth down again if they were to get there in the red zone. I think it's just such an awesome drive that you've been on. You've eaten so much clock up. You feel like you've got to get a touchdown, I would imagine. I would pontificate, if you will. Ball spotted at the 11-yard line. A march. Hornets offense got to be itching. Well over 7 minutes gone by. Talton gives on the first down, just about every first down so far, and that pile moving just a little down to the 5.
Yeah, what an opening drive. It's not over yet, but what an opening drive for these Kangaroos. A 15-hour bus ride, and to open up on this type of drive, you got to be really satisfied with this so far.
Absolutely. They're back on the ball, too, ready to go. Same formation for Jalen Talton. Trying to lead that drive all the way down. Wrapped up by Ballabuck. Should be really close to that marker one more time. This is as patient of an offensive drive as I can remember seeing in a really long time.
Yeah, and I don't hate opening up with a long, monotonous drive if you're Austin College. It really, wears down that defense because, if you score here, your defense goes out. They can get a 4-0, or 3 and out. It's
on the third and short. They try and stretch it out for the right, and it might be swallowed for a loss. If there was ever a time to get it, that would be it. Jaden Johnson, I've got to love the defensive down lineman winning with penetration and driving guys backwards.
Yeah, what a great job by that defense to really jump on it. And
with the decision time coming again, we're pedal to the metal. 4th and maybe 2 to go. One more quick give. Now where's the spot? And turnover on downs. As close as you can get. As long of a drive as you'll ever see. And it ends in nothing.
Nearly 70-yard drive there for Austin College, and to not come away with any points, that's a huge momentum shift for Kalamazoo, because if Austin were to get in the end zone there, it's almost like a beatdown against the Hornets.
That drive lasts 8 minutes of game time. Unreal. Now, the difficulty is, of course, you're back all the way, essentially taking this snap inside of your end zone. Josh Nichols, been here before many a time. Hornets on about their own 4 for the first play from scrimmage. A give for top back Sheldon Riley. Going to finish it falling forward a little bit and almost out near the 10. That might be all the breathing room you need.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. I mean, it is about as perfect as a start to a drive as you could ask for.
Sheldon, yep, go ahead.
Especially in this situation, my bad.
No doubt, no worries. Sheldon Riley averaged 5.4 a carry last year, outstanding on the efficiency. Quick out for Andrew Durbin, complete, and Durbin with a first down plus a couple. Durbin, the senior, at the tight end spot. Hornets now with a big shift. They go too tight to the right as well with the back set off that way. Insert Durbin, run behind him. And we'll grind out a couple of yards, make it 3 on the first down.
Great job by the running back there to recognize the hole. Looked like he was supposed to head towards the left side, but found the even better hole on the right and allowed him to pick up a few more yards.
And you've got a member of the offensive line down. Last thing you want to see this quick early on in the game. See if we can figure out who it is. I guess it's Carter Main up there along the front, but we'll figure out in a moment. Let's go back to that first drive. 13 rushing attempts on a single drive. I don't know. I've seen that. I've seen a whole lot of football. They were content to rush for 2.8 yards per carry and still moved it almost the entire length of the field. That's unreal.
I mean, that is a perfect start to your season. I mean, unfortunately, you didn't come away with any points, but I mean, what else could you ask for? I mean, you just continue to drive down all the defense for Kalamazoo, and you know, I don't know. It was about as ideal as you could ask for.
Yeah, there's absolutely no doubt about that. Injury timeout still. I'm still imagining that to be Carter Main most likely. Main goes 6'3", 270, a junior for the Hornets, and largely a 3-year starter. You would almost wish that it were a really hot one and you could just think this is cramps. We'll get him some water on the sideline, shake it off. Not probably so lucky today. How about a high of 64 for week 1? Unbelievable.
Yeah, I know. When I walked out to my car this morning to head down to Kalamazoo, I mean, I got the excited. I was like, oh, this is football weather. Like, this is perfect. It's not enough to be in your winter coat, but it's enough to be in maybe a sweater, and you see some people with some stocking hats on, and I mean, it is football season.
No doubt about it. Injured party's actually 68 CJ Aldred, the big hoss up front. And speaking of, all of our hosses just came out to help and carry him. That is really commendable from a whole offensive line. Now, maybe because he stands 6'4", 315, he needs a little bit of that boost.
You see that right cleat off, it looks like, and you got to think it's something either with that foot or potentially that knee. He's got that right knee brace on as well, and just hope nothing but the best for him.
There's no doubt about it. Andrew Munger, your senior left guard now. Cody Wrigley at left tackle. Your center, Carter Main. That's good news. Still in there. Now Nichols out of the empty set. 3-by-2 to the left. Looks to the middle to Nate Clark. Caught. A little short maybe of the first down by a tick. Ooh, we're going to have favorable spots everywhere. Well, the yardage totals are starting to, they're going to pile up.
Hey, if you're consistent, that's all that matters.
Sure, I agree. That's a very good point. Still 3-by-1 to the left with the tight end Clark up there. Riley leaks out on a swing, and that play's got legs. Riley is decked at the end, but that just might be enough for another first down to Sheldon Riley.
Yeah, we saw them running that type of play there in pregame throws, and it was looking pretty clean, and, well, it worked to perfection there on the field.
Yeah, Lucas Hannafin gave a really nice block to help spring that. Nichols now has the bunch on the short side there to the right. That ball got tipped, looked like as it came out of the hand, and could have been a little bit dangerous. We'll survive and live to fight another down. Good news is still 3rd and short.
So now here it's, 3rd and short. Do you go for the run? Do you try to pick up the 1 yard that you need, or do you continue with the pass game?
I think QB run game is definitely in play here with Nichols. He's going to pull it, flip it out for Hannafin. Hannafin with a couple of moves to get the first down, plus more, almost out to the 45. Even he paid the price a little bit at the end, getting the whole body slam treatment.
Yeah, do what you got to do to get the yardage.
Absolutely. Another great drive unfolding. Behind a couple of pullers, Riley tripped up just around those ankles, and you see that quick slam of the fist. Knows he could have been maybe out the gate down that sideline, but for that one little shoestring.
And they got to be feeling a little bit faster, too, with the wind blowing behind their backs.
Yeah, no doubt. You see in press coverage at the bottom on Jonah Spates, one-on-one, something that the Hornets would love to take a shot at. They're looking right at him. Caught! Exactly what we saw pre-snap. You have to know, if you see press coverage on him, that ball's going to go there 9 times out of 10. Picking up first downs on the first down. Now trips all off to the left. Nichols looks that way first. Back to the right. Another one for Spates. Back-to-back catches. And we might move those chains again.
Looks like they're going to move the chains yet again. And great job to this no huddle. They're doing a great job of mixing up the run and the pass. And right now the slants are working to their benefit right now.
Nichols wants to throw quick again. I mean, 3rd time's the charm. Jonas Spates rack up another one. And now the wholesale kind of changes along the defensive front. You get 4 bodies out, 4 bodies in for the ruse. Same thing that happened with the Kalamazoo drive. They had to rotate a little bit. Rather, the first offensive drive, the real long one. 12th play of the drive for the Hornets. Got a little bit of movement. Maybe not quite enough as he didn't come across. We'll reset. Nichols pulls off a good fake. Riley, though, tracked for a big loss.
Maybe for Nichols next time. I mean, he got the jump. Eddie snapped the ball instantly after that. Probably would have had a free play at very least.
Yeah, you do often see the center having the authority to snap that when he feels it, if he sees that guy come across a little bit. 44, Chris Wallstad on the TFL. Loses about 2. 3rd and medium. Nichols flushes left. Rolling up that sideline off the fingertips from Hannafin. And it's a tough catch, sure. But the throw, how can you throw it much better? Sprinting out that way to your left, though.
Oh, I was thinking the same thing. I mean, that was what a beautiful rollout to his left. And, I mean, that would have been a exclamation point on this. What has been 2 long drives to open up this ball game.
Absolutely. And it looks like we were kind of at that edge of Emory Roberts' field goal range. We saw Hannafin come off as well, and he's actually going to be filled in for right now with Devin Yankee. It's just a quick little official stoppage. But Kalamazoo's going for this thing on 4th down. Got 2 receivers out wide to the left with the tight end. Also that way, it's Tyler Houle lined up out there. Keep an eye on that. Houle just sits at those sticks wide open. And as easy as it gets for first down.
Interesting by the Kangaroos to not even sniff that out. Nobody was near him. And, I mean, that was designed for perfection.
Dink, dunk, if it's not broke, you know what I mean? All of the cliches all at once. This is play 15 on the drive. Quick RPO complete for Houle again. And too much cushion out there, right?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, if they're going to allow you to get 5, 6, 7 yards of play, just keep doing it. I mean, it'll get you to the end zone.
Yeah, absolutely. Hornets can sniff it now. Ball right about that 10-yard line. Back-to-back catches from Houle. Motion Clark left to right at the tight end. Now Clark goes under. Nichols goes over top for Hannafin. Touchdown Nets in the first one here for 2024.
Once again, you see Nichols roll out to the left, and last time he had a man open down in the end zone, wasn't able to catch it, and this time, second time the best, and first points up on the season, and good start to a long drive, or a good end to a long drive rather.
Emery Roberts on for the extra point, the lefty. Snap a little funny, and that hold is a little off. Extra point is blocked. We're going to stay at 6. It won't be quite enunciated the way that you would have liked, but a fantastic drive nonetheless. You can't take anything away. Nichols to Lucas Hannafin. Saw that connection 6 times last year, and Hannafin, the leading receiver, went over 800 yards. Been a long time since Kalamazoo had done that. Talk a little bit more about that drive, about imposing your will.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about that long drive, 10 for 12 for Nichols to open up his 5th year with the Hornets. 86 yards completed, 83% a touchdown. Longest pass is 14 yards. But don't forget about the run game. They didn't do it a whole lot, just 4 runs worth 11 yards. But each time they ran it, it felt like, although averaged 2.8 yards, they felt like they were getting at least 4 yards each time. So very nice by the Hornets, and a really nice job to use all receivers around the field, and we'll see what the defense has in store and what adjustments they make this time around. I mean, they got the big stop there in the red zone, and we'll see if they can force a quick out here.
You know what I'm stunned about? There was only 2 third downs and a single 4th down on that entire drive. That is unbelievable for the length of it.
A quick but yet long drive.
Roberts, ball fell off the tee one time. Now he resets. Hits it a little bit more shallow this time, taken up around the 8-yard line. Return split out to the right, and the more horizontal you go, usually doesn't get better for you. It's going to be a minus couple of yard return out of the touchback.
Everybody always thinks on those kick returns, if you run it towards the sideline and maybe go sideways, you might get an opening. It's kind of like a video game. I'm sure we've all tried to do it on those football video games before, but it's not quite like that in real life.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Dennis with a little bit shorter return than the first time, as you might imagine. And this offensive drive still, they'll put it exactly at that 25 to get it going for drive number 2. Gabe Olivier with another special teams tackle. Been in on both of them. Give on first down again. Stapleton missed in the hole. Still, great pursuit to the ball to hold that to about a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, what a nice run there by the halfback. I mean, a very twitchy. His moves alone helped him get helped him get a couple more yards. Although it didn't, show as much plus side on it as normal. But
Stapleton now walks out. Just inside that number 2 receiver on the left of screen. Hornets leading tackler from last year. Talton back to the run. 2nd down and a lot of short gains. Just exactly like you saw on the first drive. They're not going to change that formula if they don't have to.
So what's the adjustment here for Kalamazoo? Are they going to try to figure out how to fix this run game? Because last time they ran it on 3rd and long, and they were able to pick up the first down a few times.
I think you can bring a number of sort of run pressures. Bring 5 and 6 guys, but with the design of stopping the run. They're sprinting out to the right. Talton got his eyes forward. Stiff arms 1. Gets loose of a few. Now a swarm of Hornets. And it's going to be 4th down. You would think at this point you've got to punt. But what we saw on the first drive, I don't know.
One of the key plays there, and it didn't work out successfully for the Kangaroos, but Felix Flores III there with a key block from one of the linebackers. I didn't catch the number from Kalamazoo, but it really allowed the Jalen Talton to extend that play just a few seconds longer.
Now, speaking of extending, I believe this play clock is going to run out, and they're going to have to kick this ball before they get a delay of game. I think our officials are trying to say maybe that they don't.
And it's not looking like it's going to be.
No, that might be a business decision from everybody. You can understand what they're thinking, game one. But what a first quarter it was, as eventful as you will see. And you want to go ahead and give some of the numbers from that first quarter?
Yeah, Talton to finish out the half. 1 for 2, just 5 yards. Longest, of course, was just the 5 yards. But it's been the run game for the Kangaroos. 41 combined yards across the board. 32 for Stewart and just 10 for Hudson. But going to the home team, the Hornets, after their first drive, of course, we just briefly recapped that. It was a very quick, long drive, which is, kind of canceling out each other a little bit. But 10 for 12 for Nichols, 86 yards after his first drive, and just 11 rushing yards. But using all of his receivers, and Spates with the most so far after that first drive, 29 yards, Hannafin with 19, and Wool with 16.
The all-important touchdown was Nichols for Hannafin, and I just love the look that they showed there. They flashed Nate Clark from right to left. Clark holding all that coverage underneath, and Hannafin leaks over the top of it. Absolutely beautiful. Now, finally, we anticipate the punt. It's a double personal protector look, not a full back wall, but that lets you get spread out a little bit in sort of a slot set to the left with two quote-unquote receivers over there. It's a punt from their 30-yard line. Hornets with one deep, Jonas Bates. Hold-up style return from the Nets and a little bit of a rollout. Spates with that ball on the ground. And that's going to hurt in field position. That thing is rolling and rolling forever. Oh, my goodness. Inside the 5-yard line. Are you kidding? You can't hit it hardly any better.
I mean, hey, Kalamazoo is going to set up shop right around the first time they got the ball. And, wow, what a punt there. I mean, that was perfect.
That's one of the more elite punts we've ever seen around here. Jacob Brewer, 65 yards, all net after the 3-and-out. Unreal.
So now first drive of this second quarter, and can you believe it? It's only the fourth different possession here in this game. Only 2 or 3, in that first quarter.
Yes, absolutely bonkers. Tight ends offset to the right, that time still Clark. Sheldon Riley give on the first down. Little jump cut, not going to get him free.
Yeah, now it's going to see, what adjustments do we see from the Kangaroos defense this time around? What things can they do differently in this part of the field? You just got a great punt there. And now you just stopped them on 1st and 10, and now it's 2nd and very long.
Hornets on the ball a little bit quicker. Riley, ever so slightly more rushing room. He also just makes his own room with lowering the shoulder at the end.
So it's going to be 3rd and long here for the Hornets, and we'll see if we see more of that RPO-type plays again. We saw it a few times in that opening drive for them, and it worked very successfully for him.
Yeah, that could be in the bag with the 3rd and medium, still a chance. Or for the quarterback run game. Nichols on a 5-step drop, out to his right, had to just fling that thing and survive because he was in the end zone.
Yeah, he got tripped up too, and you could see it. You could see kind of like the deer in headlights look, and fortunately for him, had a receiver in the area too. So it's going to be, they're going to hope for a punt like they just saw. And not even a minute of possession there on that drive.
Was a very, very quick one. Josh Nichols himself is stepping into the starting punter job for the first time here in year number 5 in the Zoo. You don't often see it, but if there were ever a time to snap off the best punt of your life, this would be a great one. That returner lined up inside the 45. It's Dennis who's also handling the kickoff return duties.
He'll be punting into the wind here as well.
Nichols on the rollout. He should get that thing on the ground. That roll looks pretty good. Roughly about the 45. You'll absolutely take that. Again, that's your starting quarterback, your 5th-year guy, and just for the first time stepping in as your starting punter.
Yeah, maybe they could have got it a little bit deeper had they not been in the end zone, but they just want to get that off as quick as possible, especially being back that deep.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
But back-to-back 3-and-outs for both of these offense, and it's a chance to see what adjustments you make for this third drive here for the Kangaroos.
Absolutely. Jaden Johnson still in at that left end spot for Kalamazoo. They're going to go RPO, hit one up the seam, and a truck at the end of it with a big chunk on first down.
You know, what a statement start to that drive, and to end it with that truck. I mean, watch out for the big man, Trey Adams.
Adams listed 5'11", 220, brick house.
Yeah, he is built like a tight end too.
Absolutely. We're back in the pistol. 5, Barrett Hudson. Hudson will carry on the first. What a shifty little move. Free for about 5 yards on first. You'll take that again. Thought we had an official down behind the play there. I think it's the back judge. Gosh, I don't know. I was concerned.
You got to be all wits about you if you're in this position.
Hey, those guys are lined up in that line of fire, you know. On the second and medium, Hornets come across a little early. A free play for the end zone. Caught! Touchdown, Roos. And I think this one's going to stand. We're all but certain that is offside.
Man, what a nice job by Brewer. Had a little traffic on him too and was able to reel it in. And, man, what a way to respond. And now a chance to take their first lead of this game.
Yeah, that block extra point now looms a bit large. That was blocked by Nick Chevalier from the defensive line spot for the Roos. Now they will trot on Calderas, their junior returner kicker. And this is never a good sign to get somebody on this late. You wonder if that's even the guy that's supposed to be out there, or if somebody said, hey, you know, we need a guy, run somebody out. Scramble drill, but they're lined up in plenty of time. Calderas, his extra points up and good right through that screen.
Yeah, very nice relaxed kick. Didn't rush anything. It felt like the kick from Kalamazoo earlier. It felt a little rushed. The snap didn't help either, but that time it worked out. And 7-6 lead for the Kangaroos, and it was a very short drive that ended in a nice fadeaway catch in the end zone.
Yeah, that's Jalen Talton to Jacob Brewer, 26 yards with the penalty declined. That would have been 3 penalties on Kalamazoo had that one been accepted as well. And the first 2 went for 26 yards. Something to talk about at halftime that you want to clean up.
But it's definitely died down in the last few drives. So 3 straight drives after having only 3 drives in the entire first quarter that went, 2 drives that really went the length of the quarter. You've already switched the ball 3 times here in the second.
Yeah, that's right. 12:28, second quarter showing. Tyler Houle and Lucas Hannafin deep for the Hornets. Been quite a while since Kalamazoo's returned to kickoff for a touchdown. Did have 2 punt returns for touchdowns last year. One on a blocked punt by Aaron Zeckman and one from Jonas Spates, a 65-yarder. Calderas from the left hash. Hannafin gonna field it. Catch that about a 5-yard line as he's fading back. Hannafin gonna get stuck, and again another minus a net of a couple from the touchback spot.
Yeah, he definitely saw the lane there, but it closed up very quickly, especially once he got tripped up. So now what kind of adjustments would you like to see from Kalamazoo going into this drive to try to avoid another 3-and-out?
I think you've already thrown the ball enough to open them up a little bit. Once you get that front a little bit relaxed, I'd love to see establishing the runs on first and second down, make a lot of manageable third downs, and eat up a little bit more clock on your next drive. Nichols from a true gun double set. And we will run with Sheldon Riley. Not much to be had. Broke the first tackle, and that's something you'll see with Sheldon Riley almost every carry out, is that first tackler just not likely to bring him down.
Yeah, but a nice job to try to identify an open hole, but the issue is it's easier for that defensive tackle to break loose and trip you up. Although if you are to break that, you're going to pick up at least 5 yards on that play.
Yeah, it ends up being just maybe a gain of 1, the stop by Chris Wallstad from the right end spot. Little bit of movement. Nichols trying to point at him. Rolls out to his left, maybe a little bit of a broken play, and over the head, incomplete of Riley. Unless that pivot was drawn into the play, I don't know that it was.
I was just going to say, man, he can do it all. Rolls out to his left, rolls out to his right.
Sure.
That's what you like to see from a quarterback. You deemed him as an improviser type of quarterback.
Oh, absolutely. And you saw it on the play to Hannafin, the little pump fake where he threw the touchdown throw, rather. Back in gun doubles for the 3rd and long. With 9 yards to go. Nichols, quick drop. And out, complete. Hannafin, move those sticks.
Yeah, the corner there for Austin College, Marquise Williams, they just didn't really pick up on the receiver there.
Hornets back in an empty look. They showed it a couple of times on their first drive. Keeping a tight end to protect. Nichols pumps, now loads. Yeah, got smacked as that one came out, and it sailed high.
Yeah, it felt like he was a little too flat-footed there on the play. He did have a receiver in the area. Not sure if he was intending to go there, but it felt like he pumped one too many times.
Fernando Delgado with the interior pressure. Those are the toughest because they just get to you so quick. Delgado goes 6'3", 260, a freshman from Dallas, Texas. Swing out again for Riley. Riley got a little edge and one more shoestring. Still, it's a reasonable gain. It keeps you on track for the 3rd and medium one more time. Brady Dygert chases that down. Should be 3rd and 5 to 6 again. Kalamazoo 2 out of 4 so far on 3rd down. You could be 50% for a season. That'd be incredible. Back with a bunch to the left. Nichols went deep and caught. 1st down plus a little bit to Aaron Zeckman.
Yeah, I like the nice little fake out there, and I felt like it drawed some of the defenders towards that area because that's what they've been really aiming on all game up to this point, but to go over the middle and pick up a bigger yardage for the 1st down.
Jaquez James in at tight end, the senior for Kalamazoo. He'll be off that hip of the right tackle. Travis Shemwell, 3-by-1 that way. Now they motion James right to left. Give for Sheldon Riley. As always on the 1st down, Riley can't be brought down by the 1st, but still not a lot of running room.
Way to almost get a second life there. I mean, it ultimately did bring him down, but I was able to stretch for at least a couple more yards on the play.
Going to be far behind that average from last year that Riley had of 5.4 a carry, but he's grinding him out. On 2nd and 7. Riley again trying to follow behind Cody Wrigley, and a big, emphasis on big loss from Colton Gherkin.
How about the crowd for the Kangaroos tonight? They're coming out. Again, 15-hour drive from Austin, Texas up here to Kalamazoo, and a pretty decent showing.
Would you fly? I think I would fly.
I've never flown before, but I think I would for a game like this.
Sure. Trips to the left. Ball on the right hash for Nichols on the 3rd and 10. Nichols flushes, a little awkward interaction with the line, and a sack from the Roos. 4th down and approximately a Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, I felt like Nichols there was trying to do a little too much on the play. Trying to get an extra life. Couldn't really decide whether he wanted to keep it or not, but just something to keep in mind for next time around.
And that play's all made by Colton Gherkin there, getting the tackle for loss on the 2nd down, right? Then they've got to hold the ball. They've got to have all those deeper developing routes. Nichols, straighter drop back punt this time. Roll not bad towards the sideline and out of bounds, so still his net and his gross punting equal.
Looked like a better punt that time just because of the field position. It'll be 8:03 remaining here in the 2nd quarter. 7-6, Kangaroos lead it. And how many times, I thought this was interesting. You made a couple comments during pregame show about, The school name Kangaroos. You don't hear that often. Can you guess how many different schools in the United States of America are named Kangaroos? Collegiate schools.
Can I tell you, I would be so excited to learn, but I cannot even wager a guess. I hope you know.
3.
Oh, that's
schools.
awesome.
2 of them are in Austin.
Naturally. Out of the pistol here for the first down run. Stapleton, Dynas, Janinga, Swarm of Hornets. Good news on the first down.
Yeah, it's been a big defensive showing here for really in the second quarter, although Austin did score, but when they're on the other side of the field, it's been a lot of defense. Once it gets over to the other side, it feels like the offense starts to kick it up a little bit more.
Yeah, no doubt. Talton with a quick look over to the sideline. Still flanked by Zion Stewart. Quick 3-step drop, slant, complete. And Gabe Myers, your senior corner, wraps him up.
Maybe we might see a run here by the Kangaroos. Haven't seen it as often as what we have earlier in earlier possessions.
And I expected Talton to have a lot more carries already by this point in the game. Just haven't seen that hardly at all. Third down call at 4. Talton. Pass is short and broken up, incomplete. Third down stop.
And it was almost a interception by Corey Garrison there. The ball just barely hit the turf, and it was deflected off of one of the other linebackers there.
Now are you in position to send a ton of pressure at this punt? Try and block it, maybe alter it. I say yes, although this more punt-safe type return that they're setting up doesn't look like it.
Can you flip the field yet again?
Right, after the last unbelievable punt. Oh, it looks like we got somebody going a little bit too early. Not a bad punt. Spates watched it go out at the 35.
Especially for that punt, it looked like it was heading towards the sideline, but took a favorable bounce, rolled about an extra 5 yards or so.
I'll still wait for the announcement on the penalty. And there is a possibility that this ball has to be repunted. That's why I would always wait to clear the field if you're that punting unit. You got to send probably almost 11 guys on and 11 guys off. That's cardio.
Yeah. Well, and, talk about the punter here for Austin College. It's as we get the call here.
Five in the backfield, illegal formation.
So maybe not happy with the type of punt, so he gets a chance here. And then but Brewer trying to channel his inner Torrey Taylor, the Iowa's punter from last year that broke so many Division I records.
The Iowa legend.
Oh, yes.
A guy who performed so well as to see himself get drafted. You don't always see the punters get drafted.
No, in the 4th round nonetheless.
I think we just had another little correction on the spot. That is correct. 5-yard penalty, and they'll have to punt it again. Now, Spates gets to line up just beyond that Hornet logo at midfield. That should be good news. Punter coming again from Brewer. Side of the foot a little bit. Spates going to field it. Do a little barrel roll at midfield.
Wind was in his favor, and it was a nice punt nonetheless, but it was a very close return there by Spates. I mean, he had to almost dive for that in front of him. It's one of the harder ways to catch a football is out in front. But thankfully, no reason for concern there. Set up shop right about midfield.
That changed the field position, having to repunt that ball by 15 yards. That's absolutely massive. Was going to be the 35. Now Kalamazoo starting at midfield. Go 3x2 empty to the left. Nichols out quickly to the right. Complete for Spates. Drags one. And another medium gain on first down.
And there we go. This is what helped Kalamazoo's offense so well during that opening drive for themselves. They did a lot of the quick passes, and they got to get back to that if they want to continue to be successful here.
Second down, 5 yards to go. Still showing the press on Spates. He sits. And now a little middle screen complete for Durbin. It's enough for the first down. Couple of catches for Durbin.
Typically don't see screenplays go up the middle, but that time it's enough to move the chains. That's all that matters.
Kalamazoo's going to go with a little quads look, a new wrinkle. 4x1 to that left side. Still empty for Nichols. Gonna flush, now come back to the middle, pull it down. A flag down, back behind him. Great crackback block. Nichols close to the first down. Have a feeling this play's coming back.
Yeah, the first time we get to see Nichols truly show off his legs today, and it was a decent carry. Even ended with a truck that you were talking so much about during the pregame show.
Oh, Coach Zorbo every time has got to cringe when Josh goes to do that, but that's just the kind of player that he is. You can't take that out of an improviser-style quarterback.
No, and as a fifth-year player, I mean, at this point, you got to feel like, I got to trust him a little bit, but
put it all on the line. And it's a big loss on the holding enforced, so first down, 19-20 to go, somewhere in that range. Go with trips this time. Nichols, RPO to Durbin, little bit high, not bad, but that ball came out with some mustard.
Yeah, 5:25 to go here in the first half, and Kalamazoo College just trying to get back into that end zone or at least take the lead. And you got a nice kicker, too. He can potentially take the lead on a field goal.
Yeah, you'd love to know exactly what Emory Roberts' effective range is from a lefty. Maybe somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 to 45. We'll find out if Kalamazoo gets toward decision time closer to that red zone. They motion Durbin now right to left as he sets up, comes back across the formation. Nichols boots to his right, throws high for Hannafin. Did you see the window that ball was heading into? I think it was absurdly tight if there was one.
Yeah, and I feel like you probably would have had a better chance. You know, it was a tight window, but Jonas Spates had a little bit of space near the sideline down near the 20-yard line. Again, small window, so didn't have a whole lot of opportunity there, but
we'll reset with a trips now third and a ways to go. Nichols gonna loft it up for Durbin. Long run, and Durbin with the pass breakup. That could be crucial.
Yeah, it was getting awfully handsy down there for Durbin. I mean, it looked like he kind of shoved off the defender to get open and had a look, but I think it was equally as handsy.
Kenneth Alexander will probably be the one actually credited with the pass breakup, although I kind of like that idea if you're the offensive player but you play DB on that snap.
Almost threw his first interception of the season.
Get a chance to redeem yourself with an awesome punt, though. Nichols does snap off a pretty good-looking one. Fair caught inside the 15. You'll take that all day.
So Kangaroos will get the ball back with 5:08 remaining. All three timeouts on each side. And not a whole lot of, it felt like it was going to be an offensive game after seeing that first quarter, but the defense have really kicked it in the rear here in this second quarter.
Yeah, agreed. This was for a Kalamazoo offense that went over 280 yards a game passing last year. Offense been a little bit tougher to come by. Now trips from the ruse, and they run the opposite way of it. Going to be dropped by Dylan Gackey from that nose spot. Under 5 minutes. Coach told us pregame this Austin College team was going to play hard. Absolutely right. Couldn't have been more right, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you got a long bus ride. You know you just want to make every opportunity.
Good jump cut in the hole, trying to finish that run. It's a great push back from Jackson Mitchell, again from the safety spot. Not all those DBs are willing to get in the mix like that in the run. Third down, medium again. You said maybe RPO game?
Yeah, it's been working for them pretty well today.
They're going to go one more straight give. Stapleton bounces off. You got flags everywhere. Dynas might have just drawn that penalty, and that could help a whole lot to kill this drive.
Yeah, it was going to look like another one of those long first downs on third down for Austin College, but flag potentially bailing out Kalamazoo at least one more play.
I believe they're going to get Felix Flores. He looked to be the one that had Dino wrapped up. That's the impact that a guy like Carson Dynas can bring. It won't even really show up so much in the stat sheet. Dynas been the heart and soul of the Kalamazoo defense for a couple of years now. Only available for 5 games last year with injury. In those 5 games, 4.5 tackles for loss, a sack, a couple of hurries, forced fumble, and almost 10 tackles a game. One of the absolute best the MIAA has to offer. 3 minutes, 58 seconds still showing. Jaden Johnson coming on. Bryce Ballabuck coming off. Kalamazoo going to need to send another defensive lineman out there. I think they got one with Jeniga as well as now Gabe Olivier, 37. And we're taking a while getting lined up here. It's a whole conference, a zebra party.
It's week 1 for the officials too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, as they try to figure this out, a lot of action going on in the Michigan Intercollegiate Athletic Association this weekend. Everybody in action here, with the exception of Wisconsin Stevens Point, and Albion.
And defensive penalty is called. Was it late hit there? Were you able to hear?
I think that's what it was. So pretty much they're setting up shop, I believe.
That's a huge swing. We were all but convinced it was going to be holding.
It's an unfortunate penalty there for Kalamazoo, which was looking like they were going to get a big stop.
Yeah, that changes the entire feel of this 3 minutes, 58 seconds. Now you got to figure it out on defense and just survive. Get to the half maybe. First down run and a great job stacking it up. Dynas in on another stop.
And it really feels like this defense has found a way to stop this rushing offense for Austin College. And they were averaging around 4 yards a carry earlier in this game, but now it's kind of feel like they've cut that in half. And if you can keep that up, it's going to be successful for you.
Barrett Hudson on the first down carry. Now they're going to go with Stewart in the backfield, and he'll have the second down. Garrison to finish it, maybe knock him out of bounds, short of the first.
The broadcaster's jinx.
Of course.
Always, is it a sporting event without a broadcaster's jinx?
It just wouldn't be right. As they mark that a gain of 6. Should be 3rd and a long 2. Still have seen very little of Talton's legs. Surprised about that. On the left edge, what a hurdle, and still a tackle for a loss. Corey Garrison, Jalen Bowles-Swain among a swarm.
You know, I don't hate it when running backs hurdle. I always think it's very impressive when you can do it, but I feel like you got to do it when you're out in the open, because in a short situation like that, it slows you down and allows the defenders those extra few seconds to really get to the ball carrier.
Yeah, it was a risk that Hudson took, and it was as perfectly executed a huddle as you can get. I mean, that's 110-meter Olympic-style hurdle there, but still came up short and lost a couple. Now, likely out of the timeout, going to be forced to punt.
Yeah, during this timeout, we'll get back to let's take a look at the scoreboard around the conference. Alma, UW, River Falls. That's University of Wisconsin, River Falls. River Falls leading that 34-14 about towards the end of the 3rd quarter. Oberlin and Calvin, it's 19-0. Calvin leads it in the 2nd. Chris Newport up 21-0 over Trine. And Kalamazoo, Austin here, obviously, it's 7-6. Elmhurst, Adrian tied up at 20. They just started the 2nd quarter. High-scoring game there. Hope up 35-0 over Loris in the 2nd quarter. And, of course, Rochester of New York and Olivet playing, and Wisconsin Stevens Point and Albion about to kick off here in a few.
Hey, thanks for all the updates. Speaking of kicks, another punt coming. Punter's heels at the 16-yard line of the Roos. Brewer snapped off the one beautiful 65-yarder. This much, much shorter on the ground, and that's out of bounds about midfield. 2 minutes and 38 seconds. You got to be licking your chops.
Yeah, I wonder if that was, I don't know. It felt like it was maybe a design type of punt, but maybe it was just a bad punt in general. But with what he was showing us all up to this point, that's a very unfortunate bounce.
Just maybe a hair shy of midfield. It's a wonderful setup if you're going to try to take this lead back before halftime. Gun doubles for the 1st and 10. Nichols wants to loft one up that sideline, and somehow, are you kidding? Lucas Hannafin, it's caught. Did you measure the hang time on him?
He one-handed Odell that catch there.
18 yards and clock still over 2 minutes. Tons of time to do whatever you want. Nichols on another 1st down. Throw complete, plus likely out of bounds. Going to be close. Raiden Lavis.
Raiden Lavis slow to get up there. He's looking like he's coming out of this game. He's kind of holding that leg.
Lavis rather seldom used last year, had just 4 catches, but for an average of about 28 per. Big play threat. Nichols to get it out quick. Complete for Hool, and should be another 1st down. You've still got all the time in the world with almost 2 minutes. Although timeout called here.
Yeah, personally, I would just keep running this no huddle offense that you've been doing and, score and just keep letting that time click. But maybe you just want to give your guys a second to breathe.
Yeah, that's understandable. Josh Nichols sits at 17 of 25 in the 1st half, on pace for over 50 attempts. Oh, my goodness. And yet, if it's not broke, right?
Oh, I know. He has just looked so good today. Unfortunately, the one time we saw him use his legs today, it had to be called back, and I'd really like to see him use maybe his legs a little bit more, but maybe not, because he's been passing the ball so well, especially on the run. So definitely the key player to today's game so far.
68% completion, way beyond his career mark. Just fabulous in so many ways. Adding one more touchdown pass here before the half would put a much different feel on it. And then you'll have that decision, too, should you get it in the end zone. Do we go for 2 now and chase that 1 point that we missed with that block extra point?
I say I would. Wouldn't hurt.
I think so.
Especially because you get ball back at half.
Sure. And the momentum swing of it all could be huge. Still in gun doubles with press coverage on Jonas Spates up top. Might look that way. Goes to the right first, complete underneath for Hannafin. And he throws that defender off with some authority. Hannafin's a guy who put on in the neighborhood of 15 to 20 pounds from last season to this, and it showed. He was out of bounds as well. It's about a 5-yard gain on the first. You've still got absolutely everything in play. You could go quarterback run game here as they're coming with another empty set. You could motion, give a jet for Hannafin. We'll find out. On the 2nd and 5. Nichols to get it out and a little bit behind Riley, although had plenty of cushion out there again.
Nichols looking a little frustrated there. I think maybe there's some miscommunication on what he was supposed to be running there. He saw him pointing a type of direction that he would have rather had him go, but big 3rd down coming up for Kalamazoo.
Hornets have been forced to fill in at the right guard spot with the freshman Marley Barrow Bell. Goes 6'3", 305. It is a spot to watch because we've seen some quick interior pressure. Nichols with trips to the right. Wants to throw for the goal line. And one more time. Twice as nice. Lucas Hannafin.
Found himself wide open in the middle of the end zone. A couple of defenders, all the defenders really right behind him. And great job by Nichols there to just find his man.
Now, no fun sending out the extra point unit. I understand why, but I think if you score again, you absolutely have to chase those 2 points.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Amory Roberts, one more try. First one was blocked. Better snap, better holds. Extra point up and good. 13-7 Nets.
So 1:44 to go. And haven't really seen Austin College work quickly at all today, but now we're going to get our first look, most likely at that, to try to even it up at very least and potentially take a 1-point lead heading into the locker room. And if you can do that, if you are Austin College, that could put a big damper on what Kalamazoo just put together.
It could change the feel again. That's just how quick the beats in a game change in that sort of last 2 to 4 minutes of a half. Already a third of the way to the touchdown total from last year is Hannafin. First 2 touchdowns for the year. Nichols for Lucas Hannafin.
Fantastic home crowd on hand here for the season and home opener. School's not even in session yet. And I mean, how about this crowd? They've gotten loud at a handful of times tonight and really helping these Hornets to their lead at the moment.
You nailed it. Roberts, kickoff from the right hash coming. Dennis still your 1 deep returner. Go Squib, it's 3, and the Hornets are right back on it. Are you kidding? Marcus Petty says, I'll take that.
Man, oh man, this, I don't think anybody was expecting anything like that. And Austin College right now just stunned. And this could get, they could grow it to a 2-possession lead and then still get the ball back. If they can put something together here in the final 1:44.
That's one of the biggest swings you'll ever see on a non-scoring play. huge. You get the ball at your own 45-yard line.
Wow.
Now to focus back up. Gun double set. Nichols on the first down somehow broke a sack twice, and finally on a third try brought down. Doesn't help. You still have time though.
Believe it or not, that exact thing for kickoff, it's not the first time I've seen that this year in football.
I think every team sort of has the idea that if we get a front line that's bailing out of there, we'll try it. But how rarely you see it attempted? Pretty rare.
You got to be an accurate kicker for that.
Of course. Gonna motion Zekman out. Looking intermediate and early contact. That helps.
Yeah, this could really, like you just said, help this drive. And for Austin College, you desperately need a stop here to keep it within striking distance.
Jaquez James was the one that drew that flag. Came up slow a little bit, but his damage is done. Almost certainly you would think going to be pass interference. Could be in the neighborhood of a defensive hold depending on when that ball came out. (13-7), that Hornet lead. Let's not lose sight of that. Plus a chance to get more after the enforcement of this penalty for sure. The sack on the first down was Ian Sharpshare, loss of 6. So spot of the foul, but you do get the automatic first down. Ironically, doesn't help you in the field position. Such is life. One of those interesting fouls where had it been beyond that 15-yard mark, then you would get the 15. Still reset the downs at least, like that sack never happened. Lose only a few seconds. You'll live with it. Back in gun doubles, Nichols and Riley deep in the backfield. Nichols waits, shuffles the feet. Incomplete for Riley.
Yeah, I felt like Nichols, although he did have some pressure on him, rushed that throw a little bit, did have a couple of guys that looked like they might have been deep or open down deep in the middle.
He still got plenty of time to take a shot. I mean, they're in striking position, in scoring position here, if you will, for the baseball analogy. Still a gun doubles look. Went right, went back to his left, flushes right, pointing upfield, lets it fly. Spates! RIDICULOUS, ridiculous. Broke that tackle and took it all the way to the end zone on one of the most improbable touchdowns you'll ever see. Now check this flag.
It came in after the touchdown, it looked like, so. Yep.
Sideline warning. So the flag was thrown. Not going to mark this off yet. But are you kidding? The improv job of the century.
Wow. We've seen a lot of just fantastic plays here today, especially by Nichols, and another nicely masterful job there.
That's 57 yards, and that ball was completed at maybe about 40. Spates with just the extra stiff arm, the broken tackle. You want to talk about salt in the wound. Extra point close on the rush again, by the way. Kalamazoo probably want to shore that up a little bit, but 20-7. How unbelievably quickly has this game flipped?
Oh my goodness, that Austin College, I'm sure they're going to want to, it's going to have to be a quick drill here. 47 seconds left on that clock. And, you know, they haven't, succeeded as much in the passing game today. They're going to have to try to figure it out if they want to make this deficit at least manageable heading into halftime.
Yeah, you've got to start thinking about not getting flooded. If Kalamazoo takes the opening kickoff, drives it down, scores a touchdown, and takes some time off the clock in the second half, this game could be almost over.
Yeah, for Kalamazoo, you want one of those drives like you had on your first drive of the game for yourselves. That's exactly what you're looking for to open up the third quarter. But 47 seconds is a lot of time for things to happen.
Absolutely it is. You've got to be careful about giving a really big strike up yourself. Robert's going to tee it back up. $229 yards passing, 3 touchdowns in the first half for Josh Nichols. I think he has arrived for year 5 better than ever. From that right hash, shortest kick we've seen so far, taken at the 15 from Dennis. Dennis breaks down. Dennis slipped a tackle. That could have been fun. Raymond Cargill on the stop for the Hornets. Not a bad return.
No, I think everybody, especially majority of the Kalamazoo return defense there near this side of the field, you thought maybe he had a chance had he breaking that tackle.
Still not out of the realm of possibility to get a couple of chunk plays, call some timeouts, maybe see what Caleb Balderas' field goal range is. On the Kalamazoo side, probably expect them to go pretty conservative, give a reasonably big cushion. Talton out of a gun doubles look of his own, just like Kalamazoo's been running. And they sneak a tight end in behind everybody. This play's got life, and a lot of it. Although it may come back as well. Jackson Mitchell, you see him pointing right at the spot where that foul occurred. That's smart of him.
I think it was a holding on one of the receivers, held just maybe a couple yards too long. That might cost them big here.
Now the question about the spot of the foul, where do they enforce it from exactly? They're still probably going to gain some net yardage. It was a big chunk beyond midfield. And now we got a very clear official's mic. I like that. So they will still gain net yardage. This ball is actually beyond their 40. As holding penalties go, one of the more innocuous. Took some time, you might imagine. They're under 30 seconds, but still a lot of things can happen. Talton with the deepest drop of the day. Gonna flush, pumps it, now sacked! Raymond Cargill throws him down.
Clock still winding here. Austin College might have enough time to get one more play off. And there's really no sense of urgency here.
They're making the business decision.
Interesting.
Yeah, I might have lined up, called a couple of timeouts, taken some shots, and yet, if you turn the ball over there and you're giving it to Kalamazoo to kick off the second half, you see what they're thinking.
Yeah, that point of it, too, is smart and understandable as well.
Hey, we've played one half. Jackson, you have chosen a wonderful opener. Have you not?
Oh, my gosh, yes. I've been very entertained. Nichols is the man of the hour for me. I mean, I think it's maybe the same for you. We've seen him use his legs, his arm. Is that Lamar Jackson out there or what? Because it has been looking insane today.
Yeah, absolutely. Firing on all cylinders kind of doesn't even do it justice. Now, maybe Kalamazoo wants to get the run game going more, right? The rushing numbers not as pretty and haven't stuck to it as much yet. But working with the lead in the second half, you'd love to see if they can get that going a little bit more, really feed Sheldon Riley.
Yeah, for sure. Only 12 rushing attempts compared to Austin's 24. That's 9 rushing yards total. Of course, the passing game, 229 passing yards compared to Austin's 70. And, well, with this lead and with you getting the ball back, it's time to milk out that clock a little bit more.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. So we've played a half, and Kalamazoo with that 20-7 lead, flipping things around. in dramatic and rapid fashion towards the end of that half. The huge blow was Josh Nichols to Jonas Bates for the 57-yard improv job touchdown. And, folks, we're going to be back with you in the second half soon enough. Thanks so much for everybody that's joined us so far, and you are absolutely spoiled. You've chosen a wonderful game to tune into as well here for the opener for the 2024 season. We'll be back in a few after the halftime break. coming back in from the halftime break. Tanner White alongside Jackson Hyden, and one of the more explosive halves of football you'll see here on Angel, here for the opener for the 2024 season. Our team's coming out of the locker room, and Kalamazoo will be receiving that opening kick with the 20-7 lead. Jackson, you want to bring us a couple more of those stats that jump out at you from the first half?
Yeah, looking at this breakdown here, this stat program does a really nice job of using colors and stuff, so it makes it enjoyable to look at. But looking at it, it's a tale of two stories. Kalamazoo really just owning the passing game, while Austin is owning the running game, although it has felt like, at least in this, maybe towards the second part of that second quarter, the run game wasn't working as much for Austin as it was in the first half of the first half, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So, I'd like to see Austin maybe try to find a way to get back to that, try to get that 4 yard, 5 yards a carry. For Kalamazoo, figure out the run. Now you are in complete control of this game. Try to find a way to milk the clock, yet still end with points, whether it's 3 or whether it's 6. And, but still maybe sprinkle in a couple of passes. I don't think we're going to see them stray away from the passing game, but you never know.
Yeah, I don't think you can exclusively rush the ball, but if you could, to just never have to throw it and totally lean on folks in the run game, ride that as long as you can. Caleb Balderas ready to tee this thing up. You've got Hannafin as well as Hool Deep again for the Hornets to take the second half kickoff. Couple of touchdowns receiving for Hannafin in that first half, and the biggest blow, as we mentioned, the 57-yarder to Jonah Spates. Ridiculous if you spell it out. Balderas been ready here. Still waiting for that ready for play whistle. Hornets are hoping this is the last kickoff they'll have to receive. And we're jumping guns again. Look at this. We're going to clear the field for a moment. I don't know, I've seen this where officials force everybody to clear without maybe officially calling timeout.
Once again, we talked about how it's the first week for everybody. Everybody's got some kinks they got to work out, and straight away, it doesn't mean the officiating crew is any less a part of that.
We simply believe in keeping you on your toes around here, as if the football game hadn't done enough for that.
Oh, for sure.
Kalamazoo leads in so many important categories. 15 first downs to 8. That's a big one that stands out to me. 229 passing yards in that first half, on pace for almost a 500 bomb.
Oh, wouldn't you like to see that on week one?
Are you kidding me? Yes. Give me all of that. And Nichols is a one-time MIAA Player of the Week winner. That was back on last year's season opener against Oberlin. Threw 5 touchdown passes, tied for his career high in that game. That's another number to think about.
Oh, and the football's not. See, even the football's in their first week. I know it's windy, so it doesn't help, but.
Yeah, mid-season form is still ahead of us, we hope. Caleb Balderas, at some point, I promise, will kick this ball off from the left hash. Hannafin, Hool, still deep, nothing changed. And here comes the Balderas kick. And over the head of Hannafin. Good news is it found its way into the end zone. And he will down it.
Looked like it hit off his fingers too, but doesn't matter. Ready to go. We'll see. I'm curious to see what kind of offense we get from the Hornets here to start the second half. Or really a chance to not put the final nail in the coffin here, but to really make this game out of reach for Austin. They're going to have to challenge Austin to figure out a way to stop them on defense, which they have not been able to all day, as we've talked about.
Absolutely. A touchdown and your 3 scores to the good. For what it's worth, a field goal could be still a 2-possession game with a 16-point lead. Now Nichols ready with the first play from scrimmage here for the second half. Go bubble. Out for Hannafin. Hannafin with a quick spin inside and springs him for the first down. Just pulling out another rabbit out of a hat, I suppose.
Yeah, we're going to still see this no-huddle offense here for Kalamazoo, and they come out slinging it, and why not?
Tight end off, set to the left. Again, it's Hool that was initially lined up that tight end spot. They've thrown it to him. Now they check one up short for Hannafin and incomplete on a little spot concept.
Yeah, that play looked like it was kind of busted from the start, too. They were looking for a block had that been caught. And Tyler Hool didn't look like he was going to get the block had that been caught. It looked like he would have been stuffed almost instantly.
Nichols has got the big gun, too. That makes sometimes those short throws real tough because you got to react quick. On the 2nd and 10, Nichols pulls it out. On the RPO, Spates somehow wrestled it away. Just knock it off, honestly.
Man, that's going to bring Spates up over 100 yards on just 6 receptions here today. Man, he's got to be in the running for 109 yards officially today.
Absurd. Going to have Clark go to the right, Riley to the left, and this run splits up that sideline. Not bad. A good word for Sheldon Riley on first.
Good block by Andrew Munger there. The halfback there really used his blockers to his advantage and allowed him to pick up at least 5 more yards or more since then.
And Munger and Ridley on that left side starting to lean on people. Bodes well for this second half. Now Nichols going to pirouette again. Shakes that first tackler loose. Nichols might be out of there. Falling forward. Should be really close to that first down.
I see why he gets so nervous. Jamie Zorbo gets so nervous when he runs. He really drops that head, and you're allowing yourself for many, many different kinds of injuries by dropping that head, but thankfully he's okay.
Hornets on the ball, real quick penetration too, and they're going to be tracked down for a loss. Now that ball was out, but I think a little too late.
I think he was down. I mean, the officials would have came in a lot faster had that been a closer play, but I don't know. It's decision time here. I think they're going to go for it, but do you run or you go with the pass again?
I think this is QB quick kick situation here. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Nichols has done it 3 times before in his career. It's not. They're going to give for Riley behind Munger. First down. They call it power for a reason. The run concept, that is.
Beautifully executed. They have done a lot of those RPO style plays all day long, and Austin just has not been able to find an answer.
They're going to need to come up with one quickly. Thought they had the ball loose maybe earlier on in this possession. Might need one real sooner. It's going to start getting dark. Nichols out of a bunch to the right, looking that way the whole time. Throws short for Spates. Spates with the cushion. What a great move. Back to the outside. Jonas Spates. What are you supposed to do out there? He's just throwing people.
Oh, my gosh. Spates does it all. Now tied with Hannafin for the most receptions on the game. He gets another touchdown. He'll lead all categories of the receiving field.
Hornets do another big shift. Everybody moving. Now you'll have to see the receiver come get set. As he does, that's Spates. Jet motion. They fake it that way. Nichols back the other to throw up the seam. Incomplete, just a little bit high. But the play design, pretty.
Oh, it felt like even though he tipped it off, it felt like he was going to be able to recover and maybe grab his own rebound, but just a few feet away.
was 18, the freshman halfback Thomas Shemwell. They go another shift here with Shemwell in. Nichols out to the left, short for Hool. He's wrapped up, dives forward, going to get a little bit, and should be down to about the 10-yard line. Another third and medium. We'll call it 5 to go. Nichols still flanked by Shemwell in that gun. Clark, Hannafin, Spates all out to that right side in that order. Nichols looks left the whole way. Wants to throw that slant. Contreras with a great coverage. Contreras had 17 pass breakups last season. Absolutely massive number. And probably going to be credited with at least 2 more so far today. Likely going to see the field goal unit. There is Emory Roberts.
Yeah, it's a little too much juice behind that throw, but now we got our. I guess this kind of makes up for your missed PAT if you can sink this one.
Sure. The holder sets that ball down on the 18-yard line. That's Dawson's scoop in to hold. Snap good, hold good. And the field goal is good. A first field goal for Emory Roberts. 23-7. Now, as we mentioned, not technically a 3-score game with a 16-point lead. That could matter a lot. We'll find out.
Yeah, and if you're Austin College, if you do find a way into the end zone, are you going for 2 going for it? I think you have to.
Absolutely, even on the very first trip down there, because to go for it on the second, not the first, wouldn't help you at all.
Right.
You would need another possession, and who knows how many of them you're going to get. Kalamazoo just drives for 4 minutes and 35 seconds there.
I think for Austin College, you keep the same pace of play that you've had all game. Just slow, monotonous, tedious. Just keep grinding away at that Kalamazoo defense. This Kalamazoo defense, it felt like they have not been on the field very much. I mean, well, they have, but they haven't. Comparative to that first drive that Austin College opened up the game with. I mean, for Austin, you got to have a couple of those type of drives.
To back that up, the time of possession is now 18 minutes, 24 seconds in favor of Kalamazoo. It's about 2.5 minutes ahead of where Austin's at right now. Kicking tee eventually coming in from that sideline. Roberts this time from the X, straight down the pipe. Had been kicking off from the hash. And that front line maybe wants to be a little bit more aware. Another one of those knucklers off of them could change this game again. Roberts, it is a squib, and it's going to be out of bounds. Legal procedure, and they'll gain some field position.
So 10:25 to go here in the third. And a 23-7 lead, and Austin College, we'll see what kind of adjustments they made at half. The offense with no productivity there in the quarter, just trying to get back to the promised land. Well, correction, they did have a touchdown early in that second quarter, but it kind of felt like the entire quarter.
Maybe so that the defense was dictating. Just 5 of 7 throwing for Jalen Talton, too. Gonna probably see that volume tick up really quickly. Motioning his slot receiver in a little bit. Back in their base set with the 2 tight ends. Out of the pistol. A pump fake. Now Talton wants to heave this thing. Probably gonna have to take off. Pump fake right around that line of scrimmage and made another business decision.
Yeah, nice job by the safeties and corners for Kalamazoo. Really locked down the receivers. All 3 of them really had the clamps down on them and not a chance to get the ball off for Talton.
And Corey Garrison had him squared up, too, if Talton wasn't accepting of heading out of bounds. Garrison known to put some big shots on. Second down, medium. Talton after a decent carry on first. Talton now will unleash that shot. It's caught for a big chunk. Myers going to wrap him up, but Michael Kress just broke through.
How about this spiral on Talton's throw there? Now we see a little bit of a hurry-up offense here, but Talton just had a nice zip, great accuracy on that throw, and, I mean, perfect placement, too.
Did you see the Matthew Staffordry of it? The sidearm?
Yeah.
Man, guy should be slinging in the Northwoods League. Too tight set, one to each side. Talton give on first down. Some running room again. Got some life, and this would be the most fantastic way to respond, especially, again, if you score a touchdown and go for 2. 2nd and 5, and on the edge of the red zone. 37 yards officially, Talton to Michael Kress. The power play. Hornets meet him shortly after the line of scrimmage, but another falling forward effort. Going to be really close to that stick.
Yeah, right there, you kind of spread out the defense with your deep pass there and able to pick up a nice gain there. And it resets the chains, and they're in good position to try to pull within one possession here. One possession. Words are hard.
And on the first down play, should be just about nothing. Kamani Jones up among others, and a late flag coming out. Jaden Johnson got tossed. 2, 3, 4 flags, you name it. And have a feeling somebody is going to be really happy and somebody really upset as this is enforced.
This is about to be first and very long, I'm afraid, for Austin College.
Most likely.
They just continued that play a little bit too long.
Indeed they did. Still waiting on the official announcement. Oh, and an offset. Now that is an outcome that I didn't consider. So Jaden Johnson is the one hit for Kalamazoo. See if we can also figure out who it was along the offensive line that got flagged for Austin. Still, it's as if it never happened. We'll redo the whole down. Still, it is a first down. Although we've got the down marker flipped to second. We'll check on that in a moment. Piles moving just a little bit. Hornets prying at that football. See where forward progress is. It looks really close to the 5-yard line.
I was going to say that's going to be, if not a first down, it's going to be 3rd and inches.
No doubt.
Inches indeed.
Can still get a first down here. You had a little flinch out at receiver, and Jackson Mitchell again is pointing it out. He's saying, hey, this guy over here in the slot, you can't do that.
And for Austin, this is not what you need if you want to try to come back in this game. You already had one penalty. You got away with one with offsetting, but you need to play a clean slate of football here in the second half if you want a chance at coming back and overtaking the Hornets.
Absolutely. That twitch was on Tony Penson. The junior receiver out there in the slot goes 5'8", 186. Maybe he tried to hide a little bit. You know, you could get away with it with some of the smaller slot guys. But no such luck. Now a 3-receiver look this time. 2 out to the short side of the field. Talton looking that way, all the way. Pulls it down, sacked! Jaden Johnson, get it back in blood. If there were ever a time for a first career sack with the Nets, that might be it.
Yeah, I don't hate the progression there by Tolton trying to move up in the pocket, maybe sneak away and gain those last 5 yards yourself, but now you got to rely on your special teams here.
Caleb Balderas. Ball spotted at around the 23-yard line, 33 or so, up and good. Coach Ott got to make that catch down there. Let that ball go by him, by the screen and everything. So, still a 2-possession game. Doesn't hurt. Now you know a little bit more about what you need if you're the Roos.
Yeah, it didn't move the needle a whole lot for me in terms of what Austin did there. I don't know. I know it's early. I know there's still a little over 20 minutes left to play here in this game, but I don't know. Maybe if that sack didn't happen, I probably would have gone for it.
Yeah, maybe.
But that's a safe decision. But you're going to need a stop by this defense who has not been able to figure out this Kalamazoo offense since the start of the second.
And at some point, you're not going to be able to make any more safe decisions, right? If you're trailing by 2 touchdowns, you're going to have to take some shots.
And if it's one thing about shots, this Kalamazoo team knows a whole lot about it. And I don't expect them to stop taking any of them.
No, absolutely not. Balderas from the left hash. Hannafin to take it again. Turn's been mostly his way. Following Houle, the off blocker shoved him a little bit with the hand. Hannafin bounced a little bit off a one tackler.
Maybe a bit of personal block in the back there.
You know what, though? That off returner, they become like a personal protector with the punter. I mean, you're that last guy that can lead up, and sometimes you are sort of hip to hip with the returner who's fielding it.
I've heard many stories of when running backs grab the back of the jersey and just say, hey, you're blocking, you're my shield, and that lineman always kind of just like, uh-oh, type of moment.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of pressure there. Hornets still going, I believe, with Travis Shemwell in the backfield. First down 10. Shemwell carried for just about nothing. Swallowed up by Brady Dygert again. Looking around on a sideline to see if we can get an update on Sheldon Riley. We do have C.J. Aldred, the offensive lineman who had come out, not dressed, and his day will be done. Nichols to roll to his left. Wants to chuck one up that seam again. Pulled it down with the truck. Ouch. And Aru is down behind the play.
This defense for Austin had no idea where Nichols was, and it paid off for him too. I mean, you finally see him use his legs, and once again, that signature truck for Nichols.
Chris Wallstad was the one down behind the play. He's able to walk off right now, and that could be a big loss, Wallstad being a strong penetrator in the run and the pass game. Have to make a sub along the defensive line for now. And if ever there were a time to lose an outstanding run defender, this would not be it.
Absolutely not. And yeah, with 5:25 to go, I don't know. You never want to hurt a player, but maybe that might help Austin in some way as it kind of kills the momentum that Kalamazoo was on there during that drive.
It could slow them down a little bit. You get sort of that extra timeout built in. Hornets nearing midfield on their drive. Nichols will get it out quick for Hannafin in the flats, incomplete. And you can hear that ball from here. Pew! Second down 10 coming up. Flopping Braden Lavis from left to right. Spates is the deep receiver out there. Jacquez James, tight end to the left. That's where they're going to give. Shemwell cut back that way, and he is eaten alive.
So big third down coming up for Austin. This is a statement play here. If they can get the stop, it makes this game a whole lot more interesting. Especially because the field advantage might be good too.
Fully agree. Nichols trying to make a play on the 3rd and long, and no chance. Gherkin, like a missile, absolutely dumped him for a big loss.
Yeah, you kind of sniffed that out from the get-go. I mean, they were bringing everybody, and yeah, Nichols had no chance to even step back.
Call it a loss of 6. Colton Gherkin, your graduate, absolutely blowing it up. Had the tackle for loss earlier. Thought he forced a fumble, tried to sell it towards the end of that first half. And one more splash play here. Nichols to punt this one. Ball on the Kalamazoo 35. Just about 4 minutes here in the third quarter. Nichols, punt is away. Flipping a little bit chaotically, but that bounce headed the right direction. Down at the 36 of Austin.
It was a nice recovery, too. The way that punt looked up, it looked like it was going to drop right on the 50 and bounce that way. But it didn't, and it bounced in the right direction. So, I don't know. I'm curious to see what Austin brings to the table here. Down 13 with 3:52 to go here in the third quarter. They had things running for them, for that drive. And it was a sack that really, put the damper on it. I mean, I think they don't have to change a whole lot here on this drive.
I fully agree. Talton might be taking some more shots, just like right here. And was that contact a little bit early? Oh, my. The bullet is dodged.
Wow.
That's about as much as you could get away with.
Yeah.
It's the offhand around the waist. Usually the verbiage they say is if it impedes the route of the receiver.
I think it slowed him down. I don't know if it necessarily did that, but yeah, Jacob Brewer not happy with the no call there.
Yeah, it's understandable. They'll go 3-by-1, still the tight end on the ball to the left with the 3 receivers to the right. Talton wants to step up again. Couple of pumps. Now gets it out really quick, and I mean, I'm not going to call it Mahomey, right? I'm not going to give it my Chris Collinsworth. However, the change of arm angle is pretty cool.
Yeah, a great recovery, too, by Talton to find Pence in there on the far side and to really, a play that was broken to recover. That was very nicely done.
Still seen so little of Talton's legs. After he was the leading rusher last year for the Roos, I'm just borderline shocked by that. He carried about 13 times a game last year. You got to evolve your identity, I suppose. Talton to throw on the 3rd and medium. Probably going to take off. Where's that sideline, and what's that flag?
I think we might have gotten a holding there, especially with Talton moving out to his left. Talton did look like he got enough for the first down after stretching for it, but this one might be coming back.
That was all I had to say, too. Hey, this Jalen Talton guy was supposed to be a running quarterback, and we haven't seen it. Naturally. And it is a hold coming on back.
Something tells me we're going to see more of Talton using his legs here. We've already seen him break the pocket a couple times here this half. And, 3rd and long now. Maybe not this time, but going forward for sure.
Kalamazoo just subbed on the defensive line. Jaden Johnson for Dylan Gackey. And Johnson going to have the ears pinned back. Great time for the 3-man rush to get home. On a 3rd and 12. Talton gets it out quick, and with a knee down, that play's going to go for almost nothing.
Barely got it over the line of scrimmage, and they were that was just a bad throw by Talton. And had that been up more, you might have. I still don't think they would have gotten the first down, but you would have been able to cut it in half and had a pretty good spot to punt it in.
Or even start to think about going for it. You never know.
I don't think they're going to start going for it until they're under 10 in the 4th, unfortunately, for them anyway.
Brewer looking to snap off another field flipper. Spate's still back deep for the Nets. This is another punt on the ground. It does a good job to hug that sideline. Spates picked it up, paid a price. Oh, he's dragging that pile.
Yeah. Spates meet brick wall, but somehow moved a brick wall.
Yeah, wow. Both him and Hannafin, we mentioned coming right out of half, went over 700 yards last year, and they're both just looking so much more physical, bigger and stronger this year. That's scary.
Yeah, if they can keep this up going forward, I mean, they are going to be a problem once it comes to be conference time. And yeah, a great showing here at week 1 against Austin.
And everybody in this MIAA scores points. Slow delayed handoff. Sheldon Riley, hey, welcome back. A gash play on the first down. Riley had been out a couple of drives in a row.
Yeah, gain of 14. That's going to bring him up over 50 yards on the day. And it is his longest run of the day, 14 yards there. And
had two receivers rather in the tight split on the left. It's a short hook up for Hannafin. But it's an acceptable first down gain again. And it's going to turn into a bunch more. Uh-oh. Frustration perhaps setting in, would you agree?
yeah, I think so. I mean, it's week 1. You had I'm going to keep referring back to this, but you had a 15-hour, probably longer bus ride.
Sure.
All the way up to Kalamazoo from Austin, Texas. You were cramped up in that bus for a while. You know, you don't really touch a football field till you get up here, and you know, it's frustrating, especially when you feel like you should be getting calls and you're not, and when things don't go your way, like that one kickoff that Kalamazoo had, and it's a snowball effect, and that's what we're seeing right now. And Kalamazoo with a chance to maybe put this game on ice.
Yeah, could go up 3 touchdowns here. Absolutely massive opportunity. On the first down, Nichols put it in the belly from Riley. Now pulls it, going for the end zone! And another breakup from a DB, rather from a receiver playing DB down there at Zekman.
Yeah, the throw just a little bit behind Zekman, and had that been out in front, the score might have been looking a little bit different.
You'd have to drop that on the absolute last inch of the end line. It would be looking like that final play in the Ravens and Chiefs games in the NFL opener.
Very true.
Little dirty bunch to that right side. Nichols going to look that way. Pumps, bounces off a couple, and again paying a price. Now, the best thing to do, hold on to that ball with both hands at all times.
Yeah, Nichols got popped there right before he got taken to the ground, and it's going to be 3rd and 10 here, and with a minute to go here in the third. And if Kalamazoo can find a way, if they can continue to find a first down here, it's going to be setting them up good heading into that 4th.
No doubt. Could be the last play from scrimmage here for the 3rd quarter. Nichols on a medium drop. Throw just too high from Hannafin.
Hannafin a little bit back-footed there, didn't get an opportunity to jump there for it, and it's 4th and long here, and looking like they're going to leave the kicker on the sideline. It would probably be a little too long for him, but especially into the wind.
You get a great look at Nichols calling a couple of plays that he wants. You don't often see that. You always see everybody else signaling to him. It's a fun little perspective there. Hey, football is fun. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, it's one of the best times of the year.
Absolutely it is. On a 4th and a bunch. Nichols to take a shot over the middle, and a little slip from Zekman. Plus balls broken up, incomplete, and a turnover on downs.
You know, they were frustrated there that they weren't able to pick it off, but you should be happy you didn't, because you had the ball in better field position than if you had picked that.
There's absolutely no doubt about it. Marquez Williams gets that breakup on the 4th, and it was officially 13 after the sack. Not a bad place for the offense to take over. Still a 2-touchdown game. You know exactly what's in front of you. Now go get it. More 3 receiver sets, less 2 tight end sets we've seen in the second half. Talton went RPO, now had to pull it down. And gobbled up. Stapleton.
Talton decided to go to the left there once he broke through the line, but I felt like he should have kept on trucking forward. I think he would have had a few more yards on the play.
I mentioned Adam Stapleton back in the first quarter. He was Kalamazoo's leading tackler last season from that nickel or viper linebacker spot. That's just an awesome name for a position, a viper. They go power to the left. And the big pile up again. We'll pull bodies out, and everybody, you got to clear that field, get to that sideline right now. No more post-play penalties.
Well, Tanner, let's take a look at some stats, entering into the third quarter. This is cumulative, so this is start to now, Nichols just still on fire, completing passes at a near 60% rate. He's got 3 touchdowns, been sacked 4 times, 286 yards. That's 25 for 42. What a start for his 5th season here for the Hornets. For Riley, we've seen him once here this quarter. 53 yards. He had his longest run of 14. I'd like to see them use him a little bit more here in the fourth, really to milk out that clock. And then let's talk about this receiving core, mainly Spates and Hannafin. And when I say mainly Spates and Hannafin, I mean Spates. Spates, 7 receptions, 126 yards, a touchdown, and he's even got a play with 57 yards long.
You're going to have a lot of awesome candidates for MIAA Players of the Week. I mean, it's going to be really hard to choose one. Of course, we got all the other games in action. We're always partial. Speaking of the other games in action, you want to go through those pretty quick?
Yeah, Alma currently down 41-35 to UW River Falls, and we'll sprinkle it in between plays, but Adrian ups 27-20 against Elmhurst.
All right. Here, our football game, we've got a chunk play ripped off on the 3rd down, and they're near midfield.
You talked about how much this conference scores. Hope up 49-0, Calvin up 36-0.
Yeah, everybody's doing numbers.
That's what non-conference action is for.
No doubt.
It's a good tune-up few weeks.
It is.
It builds everybody confidence.
That's right. That chunk play to Michael Kress last time. Now on the 1st down they can run. Gabe Olivier in on a stop. Zion Stewart continues to be the one that's kind of got to grind it out. And as a freshman, Stewart goes 5'7", 175. That's a tough roll. Normally you think of the bell cow backs much heavier. Talton on the 2nd and long. And flag before the snap, perhaps. Oof. Came in from that far sideline.
Yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a false start. Had that not been a false start, I mean, it was looking like it was going to be money there for Austin College. And this is a big drive. If you don't score here, your chances go down significantly.
Absolutely. They've been targeting Michael Kress with their 2 biggest pass plays. He's the solo receiver there to the left. Probably going to have one-on-one. Talton looks that way the entire way. He spins out of the tackle, and this is a problem. Kress might be inside the 20.
And you're seeing them really work those out routes there, going towards the sideline, and right now it's being successful for them, and I would expect to see more of this here as we're in the red zone. A chance to pull within 1 possession here.
Alex Pepin now in at corner. Over top of Kress, still that solo receiver on the left. Chunk of 27. Dalton somehow catches that snap, brings it down, and the Hornets might have this play for a loss or no gain. Dynas always at the bottom of this pile. Officially no gain. .13 minutes. Just past 13 minutes now here in the fourth quarter. Jalen Talton getting it out quick again, and still plenty of cushion for those intermediate quick passes. Now you see Crest calling for a sub, does the universal sign with the helmet tap.
Yeah, Crest has been on fire here this drive. A guy that they've been relying on all day. 6 receptions, 114 yards up to this point. Averaging 19 yards a play.
Yeah, that's a big number. Crest off the field, though, for this first down snap. Talton still trying to hand it off, and Ruse stacked up another decent gain on first down, though. You can continue to run it here on second, should you choose.
I don't hate the idea of the run. The clock ticks off a little bit more, but as long as you poke one into the end zone and you can get a 3 and out, it is the game is in your hands.
On another give, that flag is out, and Nolan Janiga, 96, looked to be the one to draw the flag on, I believe, the Ruse 73, Trevor Timmerman. I think this is coming back on a hold again.
Ugh, those penalties for Austin continuing to bite them in the rear. And like I told you this right when we started the second half, you need to play a clean second half if you want a chance at coming back into this one. And right now, they've gotten 2 big stops against this Kalamazoo offense that has just otherwise been rolling right through them. You need something here. And something, by something, I mean not a field goal.
Yeah, you probably do need a touchdown. It is officially a hold. And the penalty story has now really flipped around. It's 9 penalties for 74 yards against the Ruse. Way too many in a tight game. They go back with a 2 tight end set up to the right. Kind of surprised about that. Talton boots to his left. Wants to take the shot, and off the fingertips of Garrison as he laid out all the way.
Yeah, just trying to throw across your body there. Got away with one. That could have been a very costly penalty there. Again, Corey Garrison almost coming up with the turnover, and now it's going to be 3rd down, 3rd and goal.
3 of 12 so far on 3rd down for the Ruse. Mathematically speaking, roughly 25%. Not so great. And a timeout before the 3rd down snap.
Well, let's take a look at the rest of these scores in the MIAA. That's what we're mainly focused on here. Albion leading at Wisconsin Stevens Point, 30-20 there in the 4th, just under 10 to go there. And Chris Newport up 42-6 over Trine with 5:55 to go there in the 4th. Of course, Rochester of New York and Olivet under their way. No clue on the score of that game yet, as it's not active here. But you know, this is a Texas team against a Michigan team. You know what other game's going on today that's Texas-Michigan? Well, of course,
I do.
The big one, and, the Longhorns in full control over the Wolverines, 31-6. And, well, Kalamazoo trying to get back at them for that. Just maybe a little bit, if anybody cares down on the field one bit. But
sure. Trust me, that's the first thing you do when you check the phone as you head in after the post-game celebration.
I'm sure it will make things feel a little bit better if it doesn't go their way.
Trips off to the right. Dalton going to flush to his left again. Broke the first sack from Janiga. Dalton wants to pull it down. And again, Garrison had him lined up if he decided not to head out of bounds.
So 4th down coming up here. I feel like you got to go back to and it looks like the field goal team's coming on. But if you're going to go for it, I'm surprised we didn't see any of the same type of passes to Crest that we saw that got him down into the red zone.
I am highly, highly surprised by this. Of course, got to be alert for a fake of any kind here, but you've got 10-plus yards to go. It would be quite a ways if you were going to throw it or something in the neighborhood of a flip. Balderas from short range, up and snuck inside that right upright. It was close.
I know we're pro Kalamazoo here in this booth, obviously.
Would never admit that.
Just kidding. Anyway, but I don't know. The field goal there, I don't know. It's a little questionable, I feel like.
I sense it is not the decision either of us would have made were
No.
we calling plays. Hey, they don't let me call plays. What's going on with that?
Hey, we're here to describe what's going on in the field and give our opinions. Nobody asked us.
Talking heads.
Yep. It's the best part about this.
Of course.
Just to talk about the sport we love.
So, kickoff coming, 10 minutes, 46 seconds in regulation, a 10-point game. Couple of made field goals from Caleb Balderas. 33 yards the first one. That one was 28. Both of those in the red zone, though. Red zone's probably going to tell the story of this one when it's all said and done.
Well, this Austin defense has been fantastic here this half. Can they come up with another stop against Kalamazoo?
10 plays, 58 yards on that drive. Lots of football to be played. Balderas, kick fielded by Hannafin. Hannafin got some room, stepped through one, and beyond the 40. Now, if there were a time to ice this game, great time for it.
Well, and here's why that kick return is huge. Because not only did you bring it up across the 40, even if you do go 3 and out, you've had a punter today in Nichols that has done such a great job at punting, you could pin him back deep if you do go 3 and out. And that could really ice the game for Austin.
Sure. Clark, the tight end, off the hip of that left tackle. Nichols has 3-by-1 that way. Go RPO, swing it out for Hannafin. Hannafin with a couple of, the moves are so complicated, you get lost trying to follow them. Picks up 6 yards. It's still a good first down play.
That's Hannafin's 9th reception of the day. Should bring him over 90 yards.
Nichols swing out for Riley one more time. Worked a couple of times. Tried to dive forward and should be just enough. You'd like to see about 100 officials all on the sidelines signaling first down. We got to get a little bit more simultaneous, a little bit more coordinated with everybody selling it at once. But, you know, a lot of the young guys, the freshmen, they'll learn. Good news is, first down, Nichols to Sheldon O'Reilly. Go RPO again for Hannafin. Hannafin with room, bounces off one, and falling forward inside the 30-yard line.
Man, Spates was the man of the half in the first half. Hannafin, he's like, hey, call on me again. He is leading the team in touchdowns received today and looking like he's on his way to maybe a third.
Sometimes it's just all about wanting that football in the biggest spots. On the first down from the 28. Long ride from Nichols, hands for Riley, and very little there along that left side.
So 9 to go officially here in the fourth quarter. Kalamazoo looking to salt this one away.
Still with the 10-point lead, and now if you want to start putting, a carts and horses game together, would Kalamazoo consider a field goal to just bring it right back to a 2-touchdown game? Well, I don't know. We've been wrong before. Nichols from gun doubles. Jet to Hool. Hands off. Hool, can he get ahead of steam around that edge? Paid the price again along that sideline, but not a bad gain.
Yeah, you talked about that field goal just a minute ago, and I don't know. I feel like depending on what the range is, yeah, you could bring it back into 2, but if you miss it, that sets things up and makes it a lot more interesting for Austin's side as well. So maybe going for it instead would give you a better chance.
It's a really good point. Decision time to be had pretty soon. 3rd and short first. Nichols to get it out quick. Spates curls up. Went backwards just a little bit. Now falling forwards and way forward. Might be goal to go.
How many more times can he step back and make everybody fly right by him?
Absolutely. And these were supposed to be the physical and the deep threat receivers with Hannafin and Spates. And yet in the short and intermediate range, I mean, they're even tougher maybe. Long looks from Nichols, getting everybody set up. Clark, the tight end. Riley, the running back, set off to the right. Nichols a give with a couple pullers. Riley getting close as he tumbles his way down. 2-yard line, maybe the 3.
And a touchdown here. I'm not going to call it final quite yet, but the nail is in place.
Think of Karate Kid. You get just the one tap with that hammer to put it all the way through. Bunch of formation flopping here. They'll go a bunch to the left. Riley also set that way. On the 2nd and goal, they'll throw. Riley had maybe come open. Nichols shakes him off. Nichols with tons and tons of room. Touchdown scamper, but I think it's coming back.
Yeah, you see the look of disappointment there by the offensive line as he knows it. Looking like it's Cody Wrigley. Yep, that's exactly who, and yeah, he knew it.
Nichols could have done a little Euro step there, a hesitation, had plenty of time to walk that in. Now, got to be a little bit more creative. Looks like they're coming out empty with that 4x1 set again. You got 4 out there all to the left. Spates is the solo receiver on the right. You could just take the shot to him. Still a 2nd and goal. Nichols with the deep drop. Middle off the hands for Riley. And another late interaction after the play, too, with Wrigley and for Nick Chevalier.
And if I'm the receivers here, you got to be careful. You got to at least, if you're going to miss it, you got to push it down, because if you tap that up, there's a lot of green grass in front of them. Austin could have potentially ran that one back had there been a corner in the right area.
Yeah, you could be forced to eat a sack here if you do throw it, and it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, especially if you maintain field goal range. Trips left for Nichols with the 3 receivers out there. Looks that way. Gonna throw short. Hannafin ran out of bounds. Still decision time. I could not tell you exactly what we're going to see on this next snap.
I think I'm going to go with a field goal this time. I know we talked about it, and I know I was kind of against it about 4 minutes ago. But I think I'm going to go with a field goal here, because even if you do miss it, Austin has to field the ball on the 6.
Right.
And has to go the length of the field with 6 minutes to go, and which means you're most likely going to rely on the pass. And if you can get something in the end zone, that's a safety.
Now, clever of you to wait until you already saw that field goal unit headed out. That's a wonderful idea. That's what I would do. Oh, that's awesome. Emery Roberts from 24, your lefty. Roberts' kick is up and good. Couple of field goals for the kid in his first start. And now 2 touchdowns to the good.
I mean, they always tell broadcasters to let things breathe. You don't let it breathe enough just to be right, you know?
That is wonderfully done. Masterfully, if you will. Roberts from 23 is all good. 26-13, your Kalamazoo lead. Doubling up these Roos right now. Kickoff coming.
Yeah, and Austin, they're going to have to maybe look for some quick passing and go no huddle here in hopes to maybe get a quick 3 and out. But the way the Hornets have been moving the ball, it's not likely. 3 timeouts, though, for both sides. That's a big part of it, too, for Austin.
It will make this game feel a lot longer than that game clock suggests.
Oof.
If everybody burns all of those timeouts, no doubt. Roberts from just inside that right hash, and as it falls off again, you're likely going to see the holder. Yeah, and they will. They're going to have Jalen Bowles-Swain head out there and hold it. Did you have that on the bingo board for today, the twice off the tee, and then you can hold it rule?
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen it sooner. I mean, I think it's happened every kickoff today.
Yeah, pretty much. Calderas has had a couple as well. So, Bowles-Swain, your holder. Amory Roberts, ready to kick off one more time. And some authority on this one, inside the 5. Dennis with a short little field reversal, and not badly defended. Should be right about 25. Gabe Olivier in on another special teams tackle. That is a fantastic way to continue earning yourself that playing time.
Not a bad return there. Fell a yard short of what would have been the given had he just taken the knee. But 5:45 to go. It's go time now for the Roos.
On the 1st and 10, they're sticking in the 3 receiver sets almost entirely. Talton from the gun. And lets that sidearm rip again. It's just pretty to watch, and that should be really close to a first down based on the spot.
Yeah. Looks like it's going to be just short, I believe. Nope, they're going to give it to him. But that was a perfect pass there, right on the sideline. You just take one step back, stop the clock too.
Yeah, can't hurt at all. And I didn't think the run game would really be in play. Maybe you wonder how much more can they afford to do that. Wrapped up by Raymond Cargill.
I don't hate the idea of maybe trying to throw the defense off guard here with the run, but maybe not in this situation. Maybe try to use it inside the 30.
Yeah, you've only got but so much time left to do that. Now the 3 timeouts does make a difference. I'm keeping an eye on Ronnie Spencer here, pressed against Kress. Say that 3 times fast. Talton's going to look that way the entire way on the double move. Back shoulder incomplete.
And there's the 3rd down. But this is 4 down territory here for the Roos.
And the whole rest of the way, you would think, right?
Yep, 100%. There's no field goals here.
Kress is going to flop over to the other side with trips that way. You've got the tight end on the other side if on the left if you want to have him run something like a quick out. He goes underneath. Talton sidesteps 1, 2. Now Dynas to swallow that play whole. The heart and soul of the Kalamazoo defense. And what a better time.
Raymond Cargill a little shaken up after that play. You see him limping, kind of grabbing at that hip area. Looking like he's okay and he'll stay in the game for now, but something to keep note of.
Kalamazoo does bring on a sub with one of their edge rushers, Gabe Olivier, now 37 in. Talton from the 4th down. Gonna have to make something happen. Got a really long way to go, fakes one. Talton wrapped up, he leaps! And where's the spot? Could you imagine if that effort took him all the way to a first down?
Oh, I think he was out of bounds by the time the ball crossed the line. But their view is better than ours. See a lot of the Hornets fans waiting in anticipation here, giving their opinion.
On a call that could decide this thing.
Yeah, there you go. First and 10 for the Hornets.
I think that's as close as you can possibly get. But I also thought maybe that ball came loose as he, leapt out and trying to hold that ball out with the one hand. Kamani Jones then just made the hugest tackle that you'll see here in the fourth quarter. 4 minutes, 1 second for Kalamazoo to run off. Two hands on the football time, I imagine. Seems prudent. Give for Riley, following Jacquez James. And another negative play, not going to help. Eaten again by Brady Dygert.
Now we see our first of what is about to be many timeouts. And you were hoping to score and then use these, but you really don't have a choice here if you are Austin.
Brady Dygert, the leading tackler from last year with over 7 a game. Had 5 TFLs as well. You've seen all of their best defenders really making impact plays between Dygert, Contreras with a couple of PVUs, Nick Chevalier, Gherkin, and the Roos have scratched and clawed to stay where they are, to survive to this point. Loss of 2 on that first down carry for Riley. They're still going to set Riley and Jacquez James both off to the left. Staying in 11 personnel. Second and 12 snap. James inserts. Riley breaks one tackle. And first down, Nets. Oh, don't tell me. Oh, no. Can we get an official measurement, please? Oh, inches. Now, this is the point where the Philadelphia Eagles would know exactly what they're going to run. This would be tush-push territory. We've seen it before with Kalamazoo, something they got into a little bit last year.
Didn't work for the Eagles last night.
No, it's true. If Nichols had wandered up under center, I thought we could see them sort of surprise and go to it. Don't think so. Third and very short. Riley, one more time, blown up. Blown way, way up for a loss.
What a stop there by Austin. We're going to get the second timeout here for Austin. And that they'll retain at least one timeout left in this game. 2:56. They're going to have to go. I mean, they're probably going to have to try to score a touchdown with at least a minute left if they want a chance at this.
Head coach Tony Joe White heading into year 2. He has got to be absolutely thrilled with his team's effort and their responses today to all of the different levels of adversity that they've met. I am personally blown away by that. How many times they could have let this game slip and just kept fighting.
Yeah, that is for sure. They came out onto the field today. We saw it in pregame warmups. The energy that they were exuding there, I mean, it was just ridiculous. I even heard some of the Kalamazoo college coaches just being like, man, they are awfully fired up for the Saturday, opener, and understandably so. I mean, you got to come out with a lot of energy after a bus ride. Obviously, they didn't come through the night, but still.
It's a proud program over there in Austin. 7 conference titles in their history. They actually tied one NAIA national championship back in 1981 with Austin Concordia of Minnesota, and they split that championship. It's more than Kalamazoo can boast. Now, speaking of boast, your bragging rights, if you can claim this 4th down, might be able to run out the clock. Let's find out. 4th and 3 for the Nets. And it's the QB quick kick coming. Nichols got it off and into the end zone for a touchback. You gain some field position, It's not the worst thing in the world, and you don't risk anything.
Well, as we switch sides, looking forward ahead to next week, Kenyon College comes to town. It'll be a 1 p.m. kickoff. Tanner, you'll be on the call for that, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Who are you talking to? Yes, sir. Kenyon Owls in town. Week 3 at Manchester, and week 4 back here for the night game. Glory, glory, hallelujah. The night game with the Calvin Knights. I heard we still got a football game here. Let's see. Let's see. Jalen Talton back against the wall. 2 minutes, 50 seconds to do the improbable. It's a long drop, letting it fly for Kress again. And inches only from the fingertips.
Oh, that had the possibility of being such a big play to open up on what you need to score here. There's no question about it.
And that's exactly the kind of strike that can get you there should you complete a couple of them. They keep targeting Kress on all of their biggest plays, on all of the deep shots. And they're showing press again against Spencer. Talton to look the other way this time, flushes to his right. Now comes back to the middle, sacked for a huge loss. And not the time for your offense. Gabe Olivier and others just meeting at the quarterback.
I appreciate his ability to climb up in the pocket, but he's scrambling a little too much. I feel like he should climb up in the pocket, sit, look, and throw, and try to make a play here.
Yeah, even if you're just throwing that out of bounds to throw it away. In gun doubles, Talton got a long ways to go. Lofts one up the seam, it's caught! That'll help. Daniel Adams hauls it in.
Clock approaching 2 minutes remaining here.
Jackson Mitchell, good tackle inbounds. And looks like they're going to have to call one of these timeouts on offense real quick. We just passed 2 minutes left. Game clock shows 1 minute, 59 seconds. I think you may have touched on this. It's going to be a long way back to Sherman, Texas, no matter how you slice it, right?
Yep.
But to pull off a miracle here would be one of the greatest moments in school history for a program that has a national championship.
Yes, 100%.
We've officially put the 1 second back on. We're showing 2 minutes exactly right now.
Well, I know we still have a game going on here, but never too soon to look ahead for Austin. They got 3 straight home games. Rhodes, Sanitary, and McMurray all coming up. 2 night games in a row. I'm sure the environment down there will be exciting.
Wouldn't you love to see the Texas high school and college football scene? You always hear that everything's bigger. You hear that the stadiums are crazy and the attendance is just, rocking.
I mean, growing up, I'm sure you can relate. The stands across the way is pretty much what the home side at the high school I grew up on had.
Sure. Trips left. Talton back still against the wall. Got to launch. He will. Great throw. Ball's loose. And incomplete. Really close on catch fumble, though. Really, really close.
The sideline for Kalamazoo not agreeing with that call.
It's another one that you've got to sell it, right? You've got to pick that up like it's live and take that thing maybe all the way back to the end zone, even if they're trying to blow it dead. Tony Penson was the one who had it in and out of the hands. Remember, he false started in a goal-to-go situation that dropped the Roos back and made them have to settle for one of the red zone field goals. And field goals versus touchdowns in the red zone. What ultimately decided this game, you know? First empty set. The Roos feeling the desperation. Talton to roll out, headed down one more time. Jaden Johnson with a flag out.
He came down towards the middle of the field. Ball did pop out, but he was definitely down.
And how about first 2 career sacks for Jaden Johnson if this thing stands up?
Catching a holding on Kalamazoo.
Oh, you're so right. A defensive holding flips this game around again. It is a game of beat after beat. If you wrote a script, you couldn't make it any better. Will carry the automatic first down with it. 44-yard line. You know the greatest Al Michaels call of all time, right? Do you believe in miracles? On the first down from the 44, Talton to launch up the seam. Penson's got it this time. Penson to split that seam. Tackled. That could be huge. Clock still runs.
Oh, inches away from pulling it within one touchdown. They have to do it on this play.
Got to be on the line immediately. Both sides. Hornets struggling to get and timeout first.
Austin getting a break there with 1:35 to go. And hey, credit to Austin. You already said it once, but to not go down without a fight. They're going to need a miracle still. They're still got a lot to happen. I mean, they got to score here, and then you got to hope and pray for an onside kick. And if you don't recover that, then it's pretty much over. But, man, the effort here in the fourth has been unreal.
Couldn't have said it better. The sack wiped out from Jaden Johnson would have been his second of the day. Flipped this entire game around, and that was a 41-yard completion, Talton to Tony Penson. With the redemption, of course, after missing on the deep ball earlier to Penson. That's now good for 253 yards through the air. Still more work to be done. Somebody's going to win it. Somebody's going to lose it in the last minute and 35. Ball spotted at the 4-yard line, maybe the 3.5. They motion Kress. You got early movement. Now on who? Bryce Ballebuck is trying to sell the fact that he swatted that snap and stole it. I've seen guys try it. I don't know if I've ever seen somebody pull it off.
No.
Snap infraction. So that's one of those little twitches maybe where you just try and draw the guy off with that short little movement of the hand. It changes very little, honestly, about the rest of this game. You need to score immediately and then onside kick and cross your fingers. You should have already said your Hail Marys, multiple.
Yes. Although I like Austin's chances if they score here and recover the onside kick.
That's an entirely different game if that happens. Trips to the right. Dalton, long stare down. Takes the snap. Goes with the fade for Kress. Did he pin it on the back? It's incomplete. Could you imagine pulling that off of the back of a defender?
You see it, I swear, like once a week in the NFL, and he's trying to do it here.
I have to remind myself sometimes, this is not the NFL. Oh, how I wish. Not yet. Dalton incomplete for Kress. Ben targeting him. He's still soloed up on Spencer. Comes underneath. Dalton. No time for this. Janinga got there with a takedown.
That is not what you needed there. A little bit of a lack of urgency here with the time ticking down. You got to hurry up and go.
Yeah, no time for this. This ball is all the way back at the 11-yard line. You got to think touchdown right now.
Yeah, there is no urgency here by this Austin offense.
Not at all, and they're under a minute. On a 3rd and goal to go. Talton goes with a fade the other way, and that is caught for the touchdown. Jacob Brewer in that back of the end line. Touchdown game.
Very nice catch down on the far side. Now, if they do recover the onside kick here, they're a PAT away. As long as they make this, they're a PAT away from winning the game.
The all-important hands team coming up in a moment. Valderas, extra point, up and good. 48.7 seconds. Survive in advance for Kalamazoo.
Oh, what a game has it been. It was all Kalamazoo in the first half, and it's been all Kangaroos here in the second half. 13 points for the Roos here in the second half. 2 field goals and a touchdown. And a very, very important onside kick. How often in your time in football did you practice the onside kick?
You have a period in almost every single practice where you kick a number of them. It always seems a little bit more easy in practice for some strange reason to recover it. You know what I mean? When the entire game rests on that single bounce of the football. Is it a high bounce? Is it low and sort of off of somebody's ankles? Is it really flat scraping the ground? Is it one of those where even the kicker gets a shot at it himself? How about it all comes down to this? Would you like that?
Oh.
Valderas with the approach on one hop, gobbled up. That just might do it.
And not much of a chance for Austin to recover it there. You know, honestly, I think you would have had a better shot had you just tried to do what Kalamazoo did a while ago, just drill it into the legs of one of the front linemen there.
Yeah, maybe. Vinny Fidel with a huge recovery.
So now surely it should be just a couple of knees and should be 1-0 start for Kalamazoo.
The shotgun knee always hurts the rushing average a little bit. It's a shame. Nichols, one snap, and we'll need just one more. Inside 30 seconds, 26-20. Hornet lead with one final snap from scrimmage, perhaps. Unless our officials want to wave that off as well. I'm here for it.
Yeah, looks like they are.
And that's your final, 26-20. Kalamazoo surviving. An improbable comeback by the Roos coming up hairs short.
Yeah, and what a second half it was. They really started to use Talton there in the second half for what he is meant for. And, you know, let him air out the ball. He had some really nice spins on the leather. And honestly, it was a great effort. It's going to be a long bus ride back to Austin, but I mean, you gotta like with what you saw here in the second half.
Absolutely, you do. A ton to build on for a team that was 1-9 last year, and now comes in, met a Kalamazoo team that was 500 last year, and took them down to the last snap, essentially. Now, plays of the game for me. It is the number one play of the game, without a doubt in my mind. The 57-yard tactical nuke from Josh Nichols to Jonas Spates there. 47 seconds left going into that half. And that play, I spelled it out for you, ridiculous.
Yeah, it was quite ridiculous. I mean, Nichols just doing an impeccable job tonight. 30 for 48, 333 yards with 3 touchdowns. And, I mean, if he keeps this up all season long, look out. Kalamazoo is coming for the conference.
Absolutely. An MIAA conference that scores a ton of points. Ended up being sort of a moderate point-scoring fest here. But the dramatics, I want to really emphasize this. Our viewers could not have picked a better game. And you, Mr. Jackson Hayden, thank you so much for sharing, because you picked an amazing game as well.
Yeah, thank you, and Steve Wyden as well for allowing me to come down here and be a part of this broadcast, this fantastic athletics department, and looking forward to be back later down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll let you know a little bit more about that schedule and how we're going to schedule all of ourselves when we know more about it ourselves. We're flexible up here. Final score in Kalamazoo, the Hornets 26, these Austin College Kangaroos 20. A 1-0 start for Kalamazoo. Thanks so much for joining us for the 2024 season opener. I'm Tanner White.
And I'm Jackson Hayden.
And everybody, have a great day.